All sports, all the time.
There's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die.
This is the Spoken Podcast.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
I'm your host, Lance Twidwell.
Man, that kid, he can ball, man. He can ball.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Patrick freaking Mahomes, baby!
Let's talk some sports, because that's what we're here to do.
You are tuned in to The Spoken.
This is the Spoken Podcast. I am your host, Lance Twidwell, here inside the Spoken Studios with my guy, Trevor Twidwell.
That's good.
Episode 325 is in full swing, full motion. We're so happy to be here with you and for you to be here with us, whether you are live streaming, podcasting, or YouTubing. We want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us in this time as we have the best and my favorite, personal favorite. I'm sure it's Trevor's as well, but I don't want to speak for him. He'll speak for himself. My favorite show of the year, our annual NFL full slate prediction show where we give you guys the ins and outs. You know, there's a lot of good shows out there, but a lot of times, you know, because of TV regulations, they can't go in depth. They kind of have to give you the general overflow of what they got going as far as predictions. That's not the case here. We don't have FCC violations. We don't have any of that stuff. You can't cancel us, damn it. We're going to do what we want to do when we want to do it, and we're going to give you guys a full sled of everything that we see happening in the NFL this season. Win-loss records, division winners, conference winners, Super Bowl winners, MVPs, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player, all the stuff, everything you think of. And I am so stoked for that. And I want to hear from you guys as well, because that's what you guys know. If you know anything about the show, or maybe this is your first time, let me go ahead and just spill the beans for you, what we do here. We are a community-driven show. We want you guys to feel like you're a part of the show, because you literally are. Trevor and I do not want to talk at you. We want to talk with you. That is a rule around here. That's one of the only few rules that we have around here. Rules. That's a fun word, actually, too, huh, Trev? Limit. ROADs. Yeah, so we want to make sure that you guys feel like you can interact with us, because that is literally what we want. We don't want to just sit here and talk at you guys. Join the conversation. And that's why we tell you guys, if you want to go to YouTube, go to the Spoken Podcast on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit notify, hit like, all those fun buttons for you to push. If you're a button pusher, you can definitely do that. Guys, you know, if you and your wives are like, are you pushing my buttons today? Why don't you both go to the Spoken Podcast on YouTube and push our buttons? We want that. Good. Push it real good, okay? Dan it. Don't sue us either. But if you guys would be so kind, do all that. But when you're done pushing them buttons, we need you to push another button, and that is the comment button. We want you guys to interact, man, and let us know what you guys are thinking, what predictions you guys have for the NFL season. That's the most exciting thing. I really want to hear what you guys say. Yeah. If you guys think that there's some lizard people running the NFL, which would actually kind of make sense right now based on some of the things that we just saw come down this week, which we're about to talk about.
Is the Earth a sphere?
Yes. Are we on a disc?
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
We're on the back of a giant turtle.
Right. Is Elizabeth Taylor Bigfoot? Like, there's some real questions out there that need to be answered. I'm not going to be able to give you guys those answers today, maybe on a later episode. We're going to probably stick to sports today. I apologize. But that's what we're going to do, man, in the future. So just bear with us, guys, as we try to get on the Discovery Channel. But right now, we're still a sports show. And in the meantime, we're going to talk sports. Trevor, how the hell are you doing this week, brother?
Doing great, man. It's starting to finally cool off out here. The summertime is on its way out. Fall time is on its way in. Allergies are starting to go away a little bit, so that's been nice for me. Yeah, it's been a good week, man. Work's been steady. Busy with the kiddos. Scarlett's got volleyball for school. She made the team, so that's been good. Other than that, man, it's football's in the air. You can smell it, you can taste it, you can feel it. Ready to talk some ball, bro.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we I was actually at the Jayhawks game last night when they destroyed Wagner, put a whack on Wagner, as I said, 46-7. That wasn't a surprise, but I will say real quick, man, that what they're doing to that stadium, the David Booth Memorial Stadium, is so gorgeous, man. I mean, growing up as KU fans, going out there a few times, it was cool and everything like that, but it was a very plain, kind of boring stadium. What they've done with that thing, it's so innovative with the waving of the wheat celebration lights at top. The crowd was packed, even on a game where they knew they were going to clap that team. It's just a great atmosphere, great vibe. I definitely, even if you're not a KU fan, get out there to Lawrence, man. It was a lot of fun. Ended up out at Jefferson's after that. Had a lot of fun out there too. So yeah, really good time out in Lawrence, and football is definitely in the air. And there's so much football in the air, you almost have to dodge it, man, because it's starting to really get that vibe and that sense. And I'm getting the excitement from other people as well. So I hope you guys are excited today, because we're going to be talking a lot of football. So without further ado, it is time for Lance Rants. All right, so as you guys know, this was a week of revelation for the Chiefs. A week of revelation for all of us here, and quite frankly, the entire NFL, because one of the biggest stories coming into this season was what's going to happen with Rashee Rice. We know that this guy isn't a end-all, be-all type of player for the Chiefs, that we know that this team can still get to the Super Bowl without him. They went, 14-2, 13-2 without him last season, but he's still an important piece to them moving forward and bettering their offensive production. As we all know, this dude is the best receiver on this team, and he's a guy that the Chiefs definitely want to have around. But we knew that the inevitable disciplinary course of action was going to take shape. We didn't know exactly when, where, how much. Like, we didn't know anything. Well, that officially changed this week. If we could put that on the screen, we got this from Tom Pelissero. According to his resources, Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is accepting and will serve a 6-game suspension to start the 2025 regular season. Per sources, the NFL and NFLPA are working to finalize the settlement. They did end up doing that, which will end Rice's disciplinary limbo and make him eligible to return Week 7 versus Las Vegas. So I told you guys just last week on this very show, I explained in great detail what I wanted to see happen and why I wanted to see it happen. I said that I wanted to see Rashee Rice get suspended immediately. We had heard about the September 30th meeting with Sewell Robinson. We knew that was the NFL's push to basically try to get Rashee Rice more games. There was even another report from Pelissero himself where he had said that the NFL was pushing to give 10 to 12 games to Rashee Rice, which is just absolutely stupid. And we'll touch on that in just a second. But when it comes to the fine print of all this, I wanted to see this happen immediately for the Chiefs, because we have to focus more on the football side of this more than just the legality side of that, because that's really what is affecting us here, as fans and as people that consume the sport that Rashee plays. I wanted to see it immediately because of the fact that I felt that was the best case scenario for the Chiefs moving forward. I know that people wanted to see Rashee Rice play in that first portion of the season because of the tough schedule the Chiefs have out the gate. But as we explained on this show, and even people like Nick Wright explained on his show at First Things First, there really isn't a stretch of games this season for the Chiefs that is easy or isn't tough. Yeah. So losing Rashee Rice at all is going to be a challenge for the Chiefs. So you might as well get it out of the way in the early portion of the season for multiple reasons. One, you have Travis Kelce as healthy as he is ever going to be all season. And so you want to be able to have him available to fill in that role to some degree while he's still as fresh as possible. You also want to integrate early on some of the younger targets that are going to be there. Now, we don't know if Jalen Rose is going to play this next week in Brazil, but he's going to play eventually. That's a guy you want to see maybe try to develop his game a little bit, maybe get some snaps. You also want to obviously see what Xavier Worthy is going to bring to the table in year 2. How much has he developed? Is he going to become more of a threat than just a gimmicky guy that a lot of people consider him to be, which I don't, Trevor don't, a lot of you don't, but we want to see the development and the growth of him as from a year 1 to a year 2 player. Obviously, getting Hollywood Brown more integrated. Now, he's more of a veteran-type player, but he didn't play a lot last season, and he didn't come around till the end of the season, so you never really saw him take shape into what the guy that the Chiefs expected him to become to actually become that guy. So there's pieces around Rashee Rice that we need to see grow in their roles, and I think that getting them going early in the season, while you still, like I said, have a healthier Travis Kelce, a healthier Isaiah Pacheco, a healthier Kareem Hunt, that's more of a key situation you want to have. And also, you want to be in rhythm, and you want to get Rashee Rice in rhythm as the postseason starts to draw closer. Losing him in late September, early October to mid-October is not ideal to me. Because also the fact that now that they're getting him back in Week 7, you're getting him not only for that divisional game against the Raiders on the road. No, I'm sorry. I think that's in Kansas City. I could be wrong. Regardless, You're going to have 5 of the 6 divisional games on the schedule after his suspension's over. You're also going to have games like the Bills game, the Commanders game, Cowboys, Texans. Like, there's several games that he's going to be able to play in that could have seeding implications that the Chiefs are going to be looking at as games that they feel they really need to win. Now, maybe it'll be a different trajectory where the Chiefs reel off, 6 straight victories before Rashee even comes back, and they're not really even worried about some of these matchups. But the reality is that the Bills game's going to be a big matchup. The Commanders game, whether it's an NFC opponent or not, is going to be a big matchup. It's a home game on national television. People are going to be paying attention to that game and that matchup because that could be a Super Bowl matchup for all we know. So there's a lot that's, I think, really worked out for the Chiefs. Now, don't tell Mike Florio that because he's going to think it's another fucking conspiracy, even though it blew up in his face, hold this L. But the point is that I think what the Chiefs got in this situation is the best case scenario. Now, I don't know where Trevor stands on this. We really have not talked a lot about it. But the only part about this that I do vehemently disagree with is the amount of games.
6, yeah.
Yes. The reason why I disagree with 6 games is because of the fact there is no true precedent. And furthermore, Jordan Addison, and I know people get sick of me trying to make the comparison here, but it is a situation where a guy was driving drunk and is a repeat offender. Multiple DUIs within a calendar year, falling asleep literally on an LA highway, behind the wheel with the car still running, and another situation of him driving 140 miles an hour. Those are repeat offenses. He gets 3 games. He'll be able to return within the first month of the season. So I'd love for the NFL to explain to me how a guy like that gets half the games that Rashee Rice gets for being a first-time offender. And I know people are going to sit here and say, well, he fled the scene. He's already fucking suffered the situation for that, guys. He's already gotten jail time that he's going to have to serve, 30 days of jail time. He's already paid severe civil lawsuit situations. He's settled a lot of things out of court, has been in court, and he's getting suspended, guys.
Could you imagine if the tables were turned, though, in this situation? Imagine the conspiracy would be if Rashee Rice was getting the treatment that Addison's getting.
Yeah.
But that's what's funny, though. No one says anything other than when it's in the Chiefs' favor.
Right.
Now that this is not in favor of the Chiefs. This is
crickets.
Yeah.
It's crickets.
So I'm saying, though, now it's not a...
Yeah.
Okay. So now that it's a guy on a Vikings team that has they've done nothing really as a franchise. No one has real true expectations other than their fans right now. I mean, it could be a good team this year, and they were a really good team last year, but could you imagine if Rashee was getting a slap on the wrist like this as a repeat offender? That would have been a real conspiracy, but now it's just...
Well, that's what
funny, man.
Like Jeff Schwartz was calling out Mike Florio this week on X, where because Florio was the one that was saying, my sources are saying,
to play the first 4 weeks.
The optics are bad. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but the optics are bad. And then when the Rashee Rice suspension goes down, exactly. When the suspension went down, Florio, all he posts in a tweet is Rashee Rice suspended first 6 games.
Yeah. I see it.
And Jeff Schwartz goes,
"That's all you gotta say about it."
Yeah, that's all you got. Like, where's
he could have put a bit at the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Jeff.
So yeah, you really failed us there, Jeff, on representation. But the amount of games is something I'm just never going to agree on. Like, it's something they're going to have to just deal with and accept. But I felt that 3 or 4 games was much more fitting for the crime at hand here, based upon, like I said, separate things. So what I'm petitioning, and I'm going to hand this to you, Trevor, is if this is how the NFL wants to handle this situation, then what I am petitioning for the NFL to do from this moment on is to basically make this the Rashee Rice rule.
Yeah.
Where from now on, this is the precedent. If you have a situation that draws parallels to Rashee Rice, automatic 6 games.
Yeah.
Because what I don't want to see is in a year from now, and unfortunately you know it's going to happen, there's going to be another player in the league that has some sort of situation that's similar to this, and I'm going to be very interested to see how the NFL handles it. I'm going to be very interested to see how many games that player gets. And I don't give a fuck it's a first-time offense, because that's literally what we're dealing with right now. So if there is another player, and it's bound to happen, unfortunately, that has a situation where they're high-speed chase, or they're just recklessly driving, they run into somebody, flee the scene, whatever the case is, I want to see how the NFL handles this, because I think this is now, if the NFL wants to play this game, it needs to be played back at them too, where it's like, okay, now it is your turn to set an actual precedent, because that is the case we're making here on this side of Rashee Rice's defense of there is no precedent. How did you come to 6 games? How did you guys come to this certain number? Okay, you came to this number, now it's time for this to be the precedent. Then otherwise, it's not going to make sense for you to have this stance in this particular situation if another guy ends up doing the same thing or something very identical to it, and you don't hit him with the same amount of games.
Yeah, it's just you're asking the NFL to be a congruent. And that's just not going to happen, man. Like, and plus, especially when it comes, I mean, just specifically when it comes to like the law, let alone the NFL and what they decide to do punishment wise for these kinds of scenarios. There's always nuance to most situations, but at the same time, there should be a set guideline. Like, I agree with you. I think there should be a set guideline on, a certain amount of games. I don't think one guy should be getting 4. And then the fact that I agree with you. I think that the 6 games is still too harsh. But when I heard that the report was that the NFL was trying to get at least double-digit games, and you were trying to say that you're hoping they get it down to 4, I was like, dude, there's no way they're cutting it 6 games from where the initial report was that they wanted to get at least 10. So that's why I landed on 6 to 8. I thought 6 to 8 was probably going to be the most logical one that we can land on, and unfortunately, it's better than 8, I guess. But at the same time, it does suck that we're gonna miss Rashee that long. Granted, he's coming off an injury. Maybe this just gives him that much more time to be that much more healthy for the biggest stretch of the season. Gonna need the guy. It just it is a weird thing with the Addison comparison. Seemingly did worse than Rashee Rice. Not seemingly. I mean, factually.
Yeah.
When it came down to it, the second time, it's the league's against the Chiefs, man. You know what I mean? That's the conspiracy. Everyone talks about the Chiefs being the favorite team. I don't know, man. It sucks. You do the crime. It is what it is. But 6 games, it's gonna feel like a long time, but it's also gonna fly by. Our best hope is that Xavier Worthy takes that next step. Hollywood Brown contributes to the way we've hoped he could be for the last couple of years now and hasn't really been able to do it. Just everyone staying healthy in the meantime is the key.
I also want to give a shout out real quick to our chat. I know that you guys been here since the beginning of the show, even probably some of you before we actually went live. But shout out to Ruben DeCruz and John Harrison. It's good to have you live with us, John. Dustin Orton had a bail. I think he said his daughter's birthday party is today, so he won't be with us live, but he's going to watch the show later on. So thanks for jumping in, though, just to let us know, Dustin, and I hope that everything goes good with the birthday party. And
Julia Gulli in the chat.
Yeah, Julia Gulli, of course. She's one of the regulars, man, and she wanted to give a shout-out to the Kelceys, which we'll obviously do. I'm very happy for them. I think this was a foregone conclusion. I think we all knew this was coming. It was just a matter of when they were going to announce it. So, shout out to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift for getting this engagement rolling. And I know that's been something that every single one of you guys have been talking about. Every time you even turn on TV or any social platform, it's on there. So I figured you guys didn't need to hear it from us, but for what it's worth, we're happy for him, genuinely are. And seeing Travis come this far, man, in his maturity and things of that nature, it's really cool to watch. And just seeing him grow up here in Kansas City, that's definitely something I've enjoyed watching, being a guy that's his age, and just seeing him end up with the most popular woman on the planet. It's just wild. So shout out to them, man. I'm really, really, truly happy for him. But yeah, shout out to the chat, man. Really appreciate all you guys, and hopefully all you guys can jump in and be a part of the show. Monica Sloan's with us as well. Salt32Alt. Yeah, shout out to all you guys for being here, man. Drop as many questions, takes, comments, concerns you guys have as the show is going, and we will get to as many of them as we possibly can. We still will be doing speaking, of course, because we want to get your guys' questions at some point of the show. But we have a lot to get to, and I don't want to waste any more of your guys' time. It is a lovely Saturday here in Kansas City, so I know you guys probably have plans, but the fact you guys want to be here at all today is a true blessing to us, and we want to make sure that we give you guys the most honest and authentic opinions on everything sports related. And this is the episode of episodes where we're giving you a full tilt of our opinions, if you will, because we are giving you our NFL predictions for this season. And Trevor, I am so stoked about this one. Trevor and I, we know one thing, and we're not going to talk about it yet, But we found out one of Trevor's predictions this week because of a massive trade that went down with one Micah Parsons. So I'm not going to tell you about which team Trevor's predicting on. Well, he'll have predictions for both, but as to what it does. So we're not going to talk about it yet. We will talk about it later, though, but it was just so funny how it all came about. We will talk about that, like I said, in the necessary time. But let's start, Trevor, first and foremost, as we always do. We're going to go east to west. On the NFC East side of things, we're going to start right there. So this is I'm going to give up my full, 4-1, and then you do your 4-1. We'll just go back and forth. Yep. The NFC East is a division that I am kind of down on this year, to be honest. I think that there's a couple teams in this division that are arriving or have already arrived, obviously with the Eagles being a perennial Super Bowl contender, the Commanders, getting to the NFC Championship last year, and then there's like a team like the Giants that I think is on the rise. The Cowboys, we don't really know where they're heading. You know what I mean? It's probably downward, though, if we're being honest. So this is a very clunky division for me because, like I said, these teams are just kind of sporadic, and that's just very on brand for this division because no one has won this division in succession, and I think over 20 years. So it's just very weird how it constantly alternates. So the bottom of this division for me isn't because I think this team's going to be bad. I just think that they're not ready yet. I think they're still a year away, and I think that they are on the rise because I really do believe in their coach, and I really do believe in their defense at this point, and that is the New York Giants. If you look at their schedule right now, what they have to overcome to have a winning record is going to be so daunting. And I just don't think they have it in them this year.
The defense is going to be nasty.
Their defense is going to be so good. Their front seven is maybe the best in football. It's so damn good. I just don't know. Like I said, I think every game's going to be a battle, but I don't know how many games they're going to have the quarterback advantage. I'm still not a Jackson Dart guy, and I don't even know if he's going to play this year because Russell Wilson's going to be their starter, and if Russell goes down or struggles, I think they're going to turn to Jameis. There's a reason why they kept Jameis Winston. If they didn't think he was going to be their backup, I think they cut him and let Jackson Dart be the backup. So I don't know if we see Jackson Dart this year, so I don't even know if we're going to have a full opinion on him yet.
I can guarantee you we see him.
Okay, well, maybe we do. I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe Brian Dable has the pressure, maybe getting fired.
There's too much hype behind him this preseason. Once they know they're out of the playoffs, he's going to start.
And you might be right about that. So I'm willing to give that a thought, but I'm going to have the Giants at the bottom of this division right now at 6-11.
6 games. I mean,
yeah. They're going to fight in every game.
They're so bad against their division.
Yeah,
they lose almost all their division games every year.
And if you, like I said,
the Cowboys always destroy them.
Yeah,
no matter how bad the Cowboys are.
If you look at their schedule too, dude, they're out of conference schedule's tough. Like it's
a tough division too. Dude, that's a lot of talent in that division.
So I think they're a year away, and I don't think Brian Dable loses his job for the record. I think he finds a way to survive.
Yeah, you got to give that guy time.
Yeah, because I think they're going to lose a lot of games that are like, 19-17, 21-20. Like they're going to lose games like that where they're in it, and it's just because they don't have the quarterback situation yet. Because like I said, Russell Wilson's not the guy.
If they have something in Dart, bro, like that's something for the fan base, let alone the coaches to build upon. Because that defense is ready to win now.
And to your point, if Jackson Dart does come in at the end of the year,
he's like a
good quarterback,
not great at all, but just good.
Brian Dable saves his job.
Absolutely,
that's what would happen. Because he's the guy that signed off on them drafting him, developed him. Yeah. So I'm with you on that. There's no real mystery now as to what's going to happen with the Cowboys this year. I'll be honest with you guys, I wasn't the biggest fan of them coming into the season anyway, just because I didn't feel like they had enough defensive talent, and I don't believe in Brian Schottenheimer as a head coach. He's gonna have to win me over.
Yeah.
Loved his dad obviously here in Kansas City, but there was not a single team out there that was looking for Brian Schottenheimer to take over.
He's a decent coordinator.
He's decent, but he has bounced around for a reason.
It was an odd signing. Honestly.
I do think there's a little bit of nepotism there. I think it's because his dad is a legendary coach. He gets a lot of jobs. I'm just being honest. For sure. And he's a yes man, which is why Jerry Jones loves him. So keeping Mike McCarthy, I would have done that 100 times out of 100 instead of hiring Brian Schottenheimer. But yeah, there's a lot of issues. And then, by the way, they just traded one of the greatest edge rushers we've ever seen at the peak of his powers. A dude that started off his career, one of 2 players ever to start your career the first 4 seasons to have at least 12 sacks in all 4 seasons. Him and Reggie White are the only players to ever do that. Like, you trade that guy and you think you're going to get better. Well, I mean, Michael, he can get us a lot of good players. No, you're a fucking idiot, dude. We're going to talk about you later. But
yeah, I think they went from like plus 1,100 to win the Super Bowl to like plus 1,600 immediately after the trade.
I saw Chris Broussard. He was talking, and I'm not big on the whole like EPA stuff.
Yeah.
But there is some validity to it, and especially in this situation. So in Micah Parsons' career, when he's on the field, the Cowboys had the number one EPA defense, or the defensive EPA. When he's off the field, it is literally last.
He is the epitome of a needle mover. Guys like him and Myles Garrett. Yeah. I mean,
why do you think, dude, and I'm not trying to bring up fantasy football, but why do you think in our football league I took Dak Prescott?
Oh, dude.
Because I knew that he's going to have to chuck the ball 50 times a game.
One of the best value picks in all fantasy.
I mean, dude, it's going to be nuts. Now. It's going to be nuts,
now it's going to be on steroids. They're going to be the Bengals of the NFC.
And I do think, but here's the thing, them and the Giants are like complete opposites because I think the Giants are going to be scrappy because of the fact they have such a good defense.
Yeah.
But I think the Cowboys are going to be in games. I think the Cowboys are going to be in games because they have such a prolific offense. I think that passing game, I think Dak's going to, I'll just give you a prediction right now. I think Dak will probably lead the league in yards.
He definitely could.
I think he'll probably throw 5,000 yards.
It could be like the Bengals of last year.
Yeah. I think Dak could throw over 5,000 yards, like 38, 40 touchdowns.
I mean, yeah, look at Burrow's numbers from last year. It could be very similar.
Yes.
It could be throwing insane
and
numbers.
Pickens looks locked in. Obviously, we know CeeDee Lamb's a great receiver, top 5 in my opinion.
I love
him. So I think their offense is going to be very prolific. They have a good enough offensive line, and to your credit, to your point, Schottenheimer is a offensive coach, so he'll probably have his guys going. But that defense is going to be ass. They have no pass rush now, dude. So I have the Cowboys rounded in the third spot at 7-10. And then this is okay. So this was tough for me because both of these teams are teams that I do view legitimately as Super Bowl contenders. The problem is that one of these teams is coming into this season with real injury concerns and have lost players on both sides of the ball and have lost both their coordinators. That's why I have the Eagles finishing second in this division. Now, I do not mince my word. I'm not going to mince words here. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. The Eagles are still a Super Bowl contender. Do not mistake my words. But the Eagles are going to take a step back this season because they have lost more than they have gained. And we're looking at Saquon Barkley. They were showing this stat on NFL Network. Running backs over the last 10 years, when they've gotten over 350 touches in a season, the next season, their production goes down by over 30%. Yeah. So Saquon, who is still unbelievably great, we have seen this time and time again, though, throughout history. When running backs get a lot of touches one year, the next year it seems to take a little bit of a dip, and they're going to need all of Saquon Barkley.
He's also on the cover of Madden too. That don't help.
That's it, and that, dude. I'm not. You know me, bro. I'm not a spiritual.
It's a real thing, though. Most
curses feel real with Madden, bro. It's a thing, and so I think that the Eagles are going to struggle with contenders. And here's the thing: they got some contenders on their schedule.
Yeah.
Some legitimate contenders.
The division games are alone. They tend to have good battles with the Cowboys they tend to beat, but they still have good battles with the Cowboys. And the Washington games were very entertaining last year.
I'm going to say this, Trevor, and I do have the Eagles as a playoff team. I have them finishing 10-7. But here's the thing. I think this is a season where Sirianni...
10-7 is crazy to me.
Dude, here, hold on. Sirianni's going to get the same treatment that Doug Peterson got at the end, where people are going to start questioning whether he's a good head coach or not, because there's a reason why. Now that he doesn't have the protection of both those those coordinators that, in my opinion, played a humongous factor in this team winning the way they did last year, I think that Sirianni's going to still get a little bit more exposure as to what kind of a coach is he? Is he really a good coach? Is he an overrated coach? The Philly fans giving him shit last season, winning the Super Bowl, he's going to feel entitled, and there's going to be some tension there when I think they struggle. It's going to be very interesting to see how Nick Sirianni gets treated this season by Philly fans. So, yeah, and I have the Eagles at 10-7. And again, I was very thorough on their schedule, on how I think the things go with Landon Dickerson injury, things like that. You know what I mean? They have an aging offensive line. Do they stay healthy all year? Lane Johnson, Mulata, how does it say? Mulata? I'm saying his name terribly, right? I apologize. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I could say 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂 with no problem, but I can't say Mugalata. That means the Commanders are winning this division, and I have them winning this division at 11-6, a game above the Eagles. I am 100% on the Jaden Daniels train. I was before he got drafted. I said on this show that I would take him over Caleb Williams. I believe in this kid. Getting McLaurin signed was a huge thing. I think Deebo Samuels is an underrated signing, even though I don't think Deebo is no longer the player he once was. I think he's going to fit this offense so beautifully because of what Kingsbury's done in this offense. I think that Deebo's going to fit and play a really important role. I'm not saying he's going to have like 1,400 total yards and 12 touchdowns, but I think he's going to be a situational player for them. And I think their run game, even with Brian Robinson now gone, is going to be underrated. I don't think it's going to be great, but I think it's going to be underrated because of Jaden Daniels' mobility.
I like Austin Eckler too.
And he's older now, but he's still really good. Yeah, and they got a couple of Cortez. That kid Cortez is okay. Like I think their run game's going to. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I think they're going to have a decently undervalued run game. Dare I say? Like they don't have star names, but they have
a
effective.
Great scheme.
Yes. And I think that offense is going to carry.
Addition too.
Here's the biggest reason why I'm big on the Commanders this year.
Yeah,
is their defense is better. I think their defense is going to be better this year because they got pushed. Yeah, they got pushed around last season. Absolutely. Dan Quinn, year 2 with that defense. I think Dan Quinn's going to have that thing a lot better. I think they're going to cut because I think last year they're like 21st in defense. I think they're going to be like the top 15. If they're just in the top 15, they are right back to where they were last season. Their schedule's tougher. There's more expectation on him, but I think that Jaden Daniels being the leader and the player that he is going to build that aura around his players where they're going to believe in what he is and not think this is some fluky season that they had last year. I'm not saying
you don't have a CJ Stroud situation.
Exactly. Their offensive line is good. Their defense is going to be better. Like I said, everything around Jaden Daniels it's improving.
Yeah, the Larry Tunsil situation is huge.
Yes, dude.
You solidify one of the best left tackles in the game. That's a mass. That alone is the biggest needle mover I think that they did all offseason. So that was huge.
So I got Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and I have the Commanders and Eagles in the playoffs.
I like it, man. I almost went a similar route. Mine's a little bit different, but I'll start at the bottom here, obviously, with the Giants. This is a team that doesn't have an offensive identity yet. Although they do have one of the best young rising wide receivers in the game. They have a running back, a converted wide receiver running back that I like a lot, a skill set in Tyron Tracy.
Yeah.
I think Dart will be their guy. Not yet, though. They have to find that identity. I don't think Dart's that great, but I think he could be good enough to be under the tutelage of Mike Daboll Daboll and just his tutelage is proven to be able to. Daniel Jones sucks. You know how I feel about him. He was waiting because that was never Daboll's guy. He was waiting to get him out of the picture. Yeah. Now he can kind of start to establish what he wants to do with this offense. So there's still a lot of them finding themselves. That defense is damn near elite. They struggled against the run. Last year, I think a lot of these defenses in this division somehow struggled against the run outside the Eagles. So I think if they fix that up a little bit, their pass rush is absolutely insane, and their secondary has been really good. So I think their identity is defense, but this is such a powerhouse offensive division. It's going to be tough for them to win a lot of games. I have the Giants going 4-13, man. I don't really believe in them at all this year. They have a lot of finding themselves and experimentation still going on.
Yeah.
I think Daboll's safe because I think they trust Daboll, and I trust Daboll to figure it out. This year is just not it. There's a lot of chess pieces being moved around to figure out how they want to do things in the long run.
Sure.
4-13 is where I have them. Next, I do have the Cowboys, but I do like the Cowboys enough to win enough games to be a playoff contender. I do think they will keep it interesting throughout the year, but I do have them falling short. The Micah Parsons thing. I mean, I don't have much more to add to what you said about it. I mean, that's a move that's going to haunt fans, let alone this franchise for generations.
Yes,
this is a trajectory altering move. I think most fans are tired. I mean, I have personal friends that were Cowboys fans that we've been seeing now becoming Chiefs fans because they live in this. It's wild. Fans are jumping ship, and I don't blame them, honestly. We've been here as Chiefs fans with terrible ownership. This is next level, though.
Right?
You know what I mean? Trading a guy like that is insane, and let alone I think people are underestimating what that can do to a locker room. If players are out there losing hope, I mean, they've been losing hope in that leadership over there for a while, but a move like that can just make guys want to shut down and just go out there and play, vanilla football and just collect a check. I do think this offense will be good enough and fun to be competitive and win a decent amount of games. I have the Cowboys still winning 10 games.
Oh, wow.
I like them. Yeah, 10-7 I feel is a good record for them. This is a really good division, man. Like I said, offensively, I think this offense can keep them in a lot of games. And I'm a believer in Dak, and I think the addition of Pickens is massive. This is easily the best duo that Dak's had since he's been. And people sleep on Ferguson too, man, the tight end. I think Ferguson's a really good tight end, and he's statistically been one of the best tight ends in football. He just hasn't scored a lot of touchdowns.
Right.
I think that can change a lot this year, obviously with the pass volume going up. So I think this trio of pass catchers, granted they have zero running game. They're banking on Javonte Williams, the corpse of Javonte Williams, to be something a weapon wise. And then they drafted Jaden Blue, an undersized guy who's already hurt. So this is going to be on the passing game of this offense, and I think they will be good enough to get to the double-digit win column. So I have them at 10-7, but I do have them missing the playoffs, though. I have Washington next with the exact same record, 10-7. I know you're higher on them, and I honestly, initially, when I did my predictions, I had them winning the division here. But I just did some, last year was a crazy year for Washington. They won a lot of games, similar to the narrative with the people talking about the Chiefs winning a lot of one-score games and in some fluky ways. But I separate the Chiefs and how I would look at the Washington Commanders. There were some truly lucky situations going on with them, and the way they converted fourth downs at an unrealistic rate. If we're being honest, there was a lot of there wasn't enough tape on Jaden, in my personal opinion. I still believe him. I think he's a future of this league, one of the faces of this league moving forward. Unreal talent. But like even that Philly game where the defender wasn't ready, there was a weird ending to that game. The guy, Jaden threw the touchdown at the end to win that game. No, it was a weird thing. Some overtime wins that were just unreal.
The Bears game, wasn't it? Remember
the Bears game. That's what I was talking about. Not the Eagles game. Yeah, the Bears game. The walk-off win there. Just certain scenarios that the record could have been a lot different than what it was. And I think there is going to be a little bit of a second year where teams are more prepared for Jaden this time around. Granted, I love the addition. If he can stay healthy, the Deebo Samuel addition, I think is perfect for this offensive scheme and what they do, because they throw behind the line of scrimmage with bubble screens and quick outs more than any other offense in the league. And it was very successful last year, and I think Deebo is the perfect addition to that kind of offense because he's so good at catching the ball at the line of scrimmage and making a play after the catch with downfield blocking. I love that addition, but Deebo is a guy that's always banged up, is older now at this point of his career, sustained a lot of injuries. Can he stay healthy? I think he's going to be a big part of the running game because they don't have a lot of depth there, especially with trading away. They could still make a move. I love this team, but I still think there's going to be some games that are closer that they actually lose this time around rather than finding a way to win. If they win this division, I will not be shocked, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I have them in second place, though, in this division. With my next team, I do think the Eagles are going to be awesome again this year. I'm still sold. That defense is too good, very young in a lot of ways, too. A lot of important key players that are still young guys. That offensive line is a little older, but with offensive line, I don't really give age too much of a worry. Because a lot of times the older OG offensive line veterans tend to just be great until they're just done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, it's not like there's a cliff where offensive linemen just fall off.
The only reason it being a concern for me is because I saw the injuries. Landon Dickerson going down. We saw Lane Johnson get banged up. It's starting to become a thing to them.
I agree with that. Yeah, but I think just the leadership of Philly has been so good for a while.
Absolutely.
They find ways to have depth at pieces that
real
they
quick,
need.
not to interrupt you, but does the losing of the coordinators affect you at all? Of
course it does. Okay. And that gives me pause, but I just trust them to win this division, man.
Yeah. Okay.
I have them winning 13 games. Dude. Okay. I'm a.
That's not crazy to me at all.
How can you not be a Jalen Hurts believer now? You know what I mean? The guy is just a winner.
Yeah.
Just plain out the guy, and I love his humility. Some people think it's cringy, and it kind of is at sometimes because he kind of does it over the top, where he's trying to be too serious sometimes.
Yeah.
And trying to too suave. But listen, dude.
I'd love to have him as his style.
He is a winner. He's a level-headed leader, and that's what you need. And that's the kind of guy that wins a lot of games in this league. And that roster is one of the best rosters in football still. A.J. Brown was dealing with a hamstring issue during the preseason, but he's good to go now.
Yeah.
They have one of the best wide receiver twos in Devonta Smith in the game. Dallas Goedert, and you got arguably the best running back in football still. Until, listen, he could get hurt this year. He ran to the ball at an unrealistic, crazy clip. They were the run heaviest offense in the league last year. I think that changed a little bit. I think Jalen does have to throw the ball a little bit more this year, but you got A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith you're throwing the ball to. I mean, this team is just loaded from top to bottom. And I think the experience and just the overall stacked roster they have. And listen, the coaching's been great for them. You can't deny it, regardless of the cringiness of them. Sometimes they win a lot of games, and I have them winning 13-4 winning this division.
So I want to add real quick, just because it's on the topic of this division, our guy Max Wasson chimed in. He said, I think the Eagles will regress a bit, but I am worried about Washington. I feel like people are crowning Jaden Daniels prematurely, just like they were with C.J. Stroud after the 2023-2024 season. I can understand. So obviously, I'm with you on the Eagles regression a bit, just because I don't know what Nick Sirianni is as the standalone coach of it from one year to the next. I don't know how good he can be.
Listen, up to that point, real quick, you can't. I'm not going to be the guy that questions Sirianni's resiliency. They lost in a heartbreaking fashion to the Chiefs, and then they came back 2 years later and beat us.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the guy that's like, I'm not questioning Sirianni anymore.
What I don't want to do though is ignore what happened in the year between, where they went and got smoked by the Buccaneers on the road.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like they got smoked. Sure. So that's all I'm saying. Like I think there is some question to be had about, because that was also they lost their what's his name, the offensive coordinator at that time. They lost him, and they got what's his name back though. That's what I'm questioning, though.
But back to my resiliency point, though, you got smoked, and a lot of teams could have tucked their tail between the legs and went home and never showed their face again. Yep. They came back the next year and won the fucking Super Bowl.
And that's what I'm saying, because they did bolster
the Chiefs.
They bolster their coordinator position, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think that does play a role, because we do know that Nick Sirianni's not an X and O's guy.
Yeah.
He's more of a Mike Tomlin
rah.
Yes.
He's a player's coach.
Dan Campbell style of guy. And that's another guy we don't know yet about losing his coordinators. There's other questions to be had. Yeah. And there's a theme here as to why I'm standing on where I'm standing with some of these players, our teams, this season. So
then again, that comes back to my point about the leadership of the Eagles, finding the right guys, put in the right places, coaches. They always find good coaches, man.
Yeah.
They always find ways to stay afloat or be.
For all we know, these are great coordinators. We have no idea yet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it's
just like the Chiefs. I mean, even more so with us, but like just like if we lose a coordinator, or we lose a GM, or we lose a position coach or an offensive coordinator, whatever. We find ways to fill those guys in. Granted, we have Andy Reid, so that helps a lot, and you have Patrick Mahomes. But at the same time, I think Philly and Kansas City are two of the teams that just find ways to fill, whether it's positional coaches or coaches in general, finding good leadership for their franchise.
It's literally next man up
in the right direction. So I trust them to do it.
That's why I was not going to be the idiot that doesn't pick them to make the playoffs. Like they're obviously a playoff team, and like I said, no matter where they get seeded, they're the type of team that can make a run. You know what I mean? Just because of the depth, and like you talked about, they have that Super Bowl prowess and experience.
On to Wink's point in the chat, I mean, Vanjo is still there, right? Nick Vanjo.
Is he still there?
I believe Nick Vanjo is still there, right? He's still their coordinator. I don't know. Did he? He didn't leave.
I'm pretty sure he left.
Where did he go?
I thought they lost both their coordinators, unless I'm mistaken, because they lost. I know they for sure lost. I cannot believe I'm missing his name. The OC. Somebody's probably screaming at me right now. Yeah. He went over to the Saints. What's his freaking name? He was the Boise State quarterback.
Oh yeah, you're talking about
lefty,
big teeth.
Lefty. He was a lefty quarterback. They played for Boise State. Kellen
Moore.
Kellen Moore. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. So losing him is a big thing, because that dude is one of the best OCs in football. Now he's the Saints head coach. I'm just going to be really interested to see about how much that affects this Eagles team.
Yeah,
like I said,
Vanjo is still at the Eagles.
Oh, he is. Okay, well that's a damn good. That keeping him is damn good, because he was great for the Eagles last year. Right. Incredible for them. Let's keep it moving though, guys. We got a lot to get to still. Let's get to the NFC North. So this is. I'll just go ahead and say it right now, Trevor. This is a division where I have 3 playoff teams.
Okay.
I think there are 3 playoff teams out of this division, and this was by far the toughest division for me to predict. I think that everybody understands why, because every single one of these teams, in my opinion, if everything goes right for them, could win this division. Every single one of them. The problem, though, is, and I just got on talking about it, in a division like this, the thing I always have to look at when there's a division this loaded, I have to look for continuity. I have to look for who has consistency at head coach, who has potential at quarterback or continuity at quarterback. I'm just going down checklists. And the reason why I have the Bears in last place of this division is because I have no idea what Ben Johnson is as a head coach. And we still have no idea what Caleb Williams is as a quarterback. Yep. And those two guys have to hit. If the Bears are going to be anything, both of them have to be something. And I don't know what they are. I feel good about Ben Johnson.
Not an identity yet.
Yeah, I feel good about Caleb Williams.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about. Yeah, the potential's there, and I think they're in a much better situation than they would be if Eberflus was still their head coach.
It's going to be fun for fantasy, that's for sure.
But I just don't know if they're a team that can win 10-plus games. I just don't know. And so I can't sit here in any true conviction and give you guys reasons why I think they will, because I don't think they do. I think the Bears are going to be a team that very much struggle this year, if I'm going to give you a true and genuine prediction. Because I think there's going to be some true and genuine growing pains for Caleb Williams from 1 year to one for year two to already be switching an entire new offense and learning an offense that is very, very intricate. Like, you have to learn a lot of things in the Ben Johnson offense. That's why a veteran like Jared Goff was so good in it, because Jared Goff was already so far into his career. It's going to be a struggle for them. And I think that when you're relying on DeAndre Swift as your starting running back, who, by the way, ironically, was benched by Ben Johnson back in Detroit and has injury concerns, to me, they look like a team that is on the rise, but I don't know if they've risen. Does that make sense? Like, I just don't know if they're there yet. So I think the Bears are going to struggle this year, at least out the gate, and maybe you start to see later as the year goes on, they start to really put it together, and then it rolls into year, 2026. I actually think that's how it's going to go. But I have the Bears right now as a 7-win team. I don't think they, because if you look at their schedule as well, especially being in this division, there's a lot of losses. If they played in the NFC South, they're probably a 10-win team. But because they play in such a tough division, I think they're going to lose a lot of games that otherwise they probably would win. So Bears are in the fourth place at 7-10. This might shock you, Trevor. My third place team in the NFC North is the Lions. And the biggest reason why, let me go ahead and get out the positives out of the way. Yep. The Lions are a team that, like the Eagles, are very loaded.
Yep.
They have so much talent. The problem is, like the Eagles, they've also lost coordinators. And really good ones, like the Ben Johnson guy I just talked about, and Aaron Glenn, who's one of the best DCs in football that's now the Jets head coach.
Yep.
We're about to find out how good of a head coach Dan Campbell really is. I believe he's a good coach, just for the record. I like Dan Campbell.
He's so likable.
He's so easy to like, dude. Yeah. And I would run through a freaking wall for that dude. And I'm not even a Lions fan, but he just gets me motivated. But how far does that go? Because we know that coaches like Mike Tomlin are the same way. And Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game since 2016.
And, dude, you remember the vibes last year when they failed? They were supposed to be that Super Bowl team. Everyone was banking on them to go to the Super Bowl.
15-2 last year.
Remember the vibes? Like, you can see it on all their faces that window closed. That was the vibe, dude.
Yeah.
Even Dan Campbell was like, oh, this was supposed to be it. That was like the vibe last year. It was sad to watch, honestly.
So that's... I feel so weird saying it, guys, but like I don't... It's so hard to say this. I don't even have the Lions making the playoffs. I think they missed the playoffs because, like you said, Troy, I think their window closed. And teams like this you remember how they dealt with their injuries on the defensive side? I think those kind of things start to...
Aiden was...
Yeah, and I think he'll be back, and I think he's going to have a great season.
Be awesome this
but, dude, I think this is that team, like you said, Trevor, where they don't bounce back so quickly. If they brought back Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, I'm all over this team still, because I think they'd have the coaching staff that could figure things out. I think they're a 10-win team. But I think because of the Eagles and another team I'm going to talk about later having the same record and a better record in division and in conference, you're going to see a 10-win team and the Lions miss the playoffs. And I know that sounds insane because a lot of people are picking them to win the division. But I see this thing going a lot differently, man, because I don't know if they're a team that can overcome the loss like they had in the playoffs when they should have won. Dude, no one picked the Commanders to win that game. No one was picking the Commanders.
Yep.
And the Commanders clapped them. You felt a brokenness from that team. Now, people would say, what about the Chiefs? The Chiefs have proven they can overcome that. We haven't seen the Lions overcome this yet.
No, well.
And losing coordinators like that, again, is a bigger issue than I think a lot of people are leading on. And
no offense, you need a quarterback with the intangibles, and I'm just not a Goff guy.
I know.
But it comes down to situational football like that.
And
you need a guy that
can
execute a play and play within a system. Jared Goff's one of the best at it. But you need a guy when the shit's hitting the fan, and you need to overcome. You need a guy that can go get you a win. It's not Jared Goff, dude.
It's weird saying, like, this team's going to be good, but they're not good enough. So I have the Lions in third place.
Perhaps the best roster in football. They're especially offensively. That roster is insane.
Yeah. Dude, I know I sound nutty, but I'm sticking with this one because the other two teams in this division I am so much higher on, dude. And this might sound weird to Trevor because with the acquisition of Micah Parsons, it does shake things up in the NFC. But I don't know yet how much it's going to shake things up in the NFC. I think the Packers are without question a playoff team this season. I was on the verge of picking them as a playoff team before the Micah Parsons trade. Now it's not even a question. They are 100% making the playoffs this year. They were a team that overcame a lot last year, had a lot of injuries to Jordan Love. There was a lot of influx, but they still won 11 games last year.
Dealt with a lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries. Now, I think they're kind of one of those teams, though, that are kind of snake bitten, though, because I think they're like the Chargers, where they just deal with injuries every year.
You can say the same thing about the Niners too, though.
Yes, and they prevail too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the Packers are a prevailer. Having Micah Parsons now, which finally gives them a running mate with Rashawn Gary, is such a big thing. Yes, losing Kenny Clark is whatever. Like, he's a good player, but I think you can overcome the loss of Kenny Clark, especially when you're adding Micah Parsons to the edge. Yeah. So the Packers, to me, are a team that I think could have my record I'm giving them, or could be a lot better. I have the Packers at 11-6 again, because their schedule is tougher this year, and I think the division is going to be just as good, if not better. I need to see more from Jordan Love, period, point blank.
Yep.
If Jordan Love plays to his best, this is a 14-win team.
Last year was tough, man. He was playing through an MCL sprain the entire year.
Yes, but even the year before that, when he had that awesome season, he would have stretches of good games and then play terrible.
He's been very inconsistent.
This is what I need Jordan Love to finally become that dude.
Yeah.
And I'm still concerned about that. So I'm holding out my opinion on Jordan Love and what he actually is. I have him as like a fringe top 10-ish quarterback. I think I have him like 11 or 12 right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good spot. Like, I think he's like right around like the Justin Herbert area of quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like, that good, but not great yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's 27. We still don't know what Jordan Love is.
I don't think he's ever going to be some big star, in my personal opinion. I don't think he needs to be that dude. I think he needs to be like a Brock Purdy, just to be that point guard.
Yeah.
Or a good offensive scheme.
The problem is that, unlike Brock Purdy, though, he doesn't have like this plethora of great weapons. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't. Let's be real.
He doesn't have a plethora of weapons that can stay healthy.
Well,
that's for sure.
How many of his weapons right now you say, like, oh, that's a great player?
Matthew Golden's a good addition.
We don't know what he is yet. I like Matthew Golden, but we don't know yet. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have that George Kittle. He doesn't have, Brandon Ayuk before he got hurt. Like, he didn't have those guys. Like, Purdy's had just great weapons. Insanely great weapons. Christian McCaffrey, for God's sake. Now, he does have Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs is awesome. Yeah. But Josh Jacobs also had a fuck ton of touches last year. Is he going to have a little bit of a regression? Being 28, 29 years old now. There are questions to be had. I do like their coach a lot, though. So there is a kind of a mixed bag with the Packers, and I feel like they're going to be one of those teams that's going to, like, I feel like their floor is 10 wins. I think their ceiling is 14. I think they can legitimately win like the NFC top seed if everything goes to plan. But I'm going to stick with 11-6, finishing at the second part of this division and making the playoffs without question as the 5 seed. I am so high on the Vikings this year. Kevin O'Connell-Dimitroff is one of the best coaches in football. They obviously have arguably the best receiving option in the NFL in Justin Jefferson. They're going to get Jordan Addison back in the first month of the season. They have TJ Hawkinson and a solid run game. Not a great run game, but a solid running game.
The addition of Jordan Mason was awesome.
Jordan Mason is yes. So they have a very solid run game. And their offensive line is so underrated. I don't understand.
Into it. That defense is going to be nasty.
Dude, another season under my guy.
Dude.
I mean, dude, he should be a head coach in this league anyway.
Is such a beast.
Brian Flores is, in my opinion, he should be a head coach again in this league. He's going to have this defense humming. What's so funny about this defense, they don't have like a bunch of star players. It's a system.
You got dogs, though.
Dude, but I'm saying like the system is so damn daunting.
Flores has been awesome everywhere he's been.
Everywhere. And he's a head coach on the defense. It's literally how I look at them as like the Chiefs. And that's high praise. I'm just saying, like, they look like a younger version of like Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they just have that tandem where it's like 2 head coaches on one staff.
Well, O'Connell is like the evolution of the Shanahan tree.
Well, yeah, he's from McVay. Yeah, he came from McVay. And he was a former quarterback. And
second coming of the, a new wave of that similar scheme.
Yeah. So O'Connell to me is the guy that, and here's the thing.
McCarthy was a great
people sleep on, and this dude, I am a big JJ McCarthy
I'm not, guy. But I think he fits that scheme.
Dude, look what they did with Sam Darnold, a failed quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, I know, dude.
Looked like an MVP for half the season.
When they're going through that rotation of quarterbacks just the other year before that. Josh Dobbs came in, was balling.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, all these random names were in there, the filling in spots, and they would go in and have like blow up games.
Right.
Crazy.
Dude, Kevin O'Connell's first season as a head coach, they won 13 games. The next season, they won 14 games.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people are sleeping on the Vikings. Like, everyone's like, they'll probably be like a 9-10 win team. Based on what? If he can do that with Sam Darnold, he's going to do this with a first-round pick. I have been a believer of J.J. McCarthy since his Michigan days.
Yeah.
Because I saw what Jim Harbaugh did to him. He would say, all right, we're going to run the ball twice, and then it's going to be 3rd and 6. J.J. makes something happen. And he would.
And he's sneaky mobile, too.
Dude, he plays. I'm telling you right now, guys, go watch film. This kid plays like Joe Burrow. I'm not playing. This dude plays like, I'm not saying.
He's more mobile than Burrow.
Yeah, he is. That's true. But you know how Joe's like kind of nimble?
He had like 450 yards.
Before the ACL tear, like Joe could like kind of move and dance in the pocket. Yeah. He reminds me, so he kind of plays like Tony Romo too. Like he has that wild character in him as well, where he can make that slinging pass. Like, oh shit, where'd that come from? I'm telling you right now, J.J. McCarthy is putting himself on the map this year, guys, by winning this division. They are winning this division. They're going to go 12-5. I mean, I'm giving them a little bit of cushion. I don't know if they're going to win 13, 14 games. That's very tough to do.
Yeah.
But because of Kevin O'Connell's reputation, and they passed on Aaron Rodgers. Remember that. The Vikings, Aaron Rodgers wanted to be a Viking. They passed on him and said, no, we're good. That tells me they know what they got in J.J. McCarthy. You don't pass on Aaron Rodgers, even in his 40s, unless you know what you got in J.J. McCarthy. So I'm telling you, this kid is legit. He's going to prove that this year because of the system he's in and the defense he's got backing him. They're going to win this division at 12-5.
I like it, man. This is a fun division, too, to kind of dissect and kind of get vibes on. Yeah, like you said, winning 13, 14 games is very difficult in this league, and that's why I have the Bears winning 7. Just like you. Yeah, so I'm right there with you with the Bears. I think their offensive talent, I think Caleb Williams will have those games where he just outrightly wins a game by himself because he is that talented of a dude, and we've seen him have those moments, especially towards the end of the year last year. I don't trust the leadership of his team yet. I don't. You know, as much as I've been a truther for DJ Moore, I think he has elite upside. He's a guy that's also quit on his team before, too. You know, there's been bad vibes with him and Caleb's connection, what that's going to be. I also think Rome Odunze is a future star in this league. I think Rome Odunze is an incredible talent. I think he's a perfect fit for the Ben Johnson offense. And Luther Burden was also a great acquisition. I don't think he's ready to be a player really of impact yet, but I think come the coming years, I think he could be a really good player for them as well. And especially being more of a slot guy, I think that's a perfect fit for what like the Amon-Ra kind of role possibly could become for Luther Burden possibly in the future. I just don't. There's still a lot of things in flux with the Bears. I just don't believe in them yet, and they haven't proven anything. They've had several good rosters across the past several years. They just never do much. Granted, I think they're in the right direction with the right leadership. A lot of it comes down to Caleb Williams becoming that dude, like you said, and I don't know if he is yet. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback in this league. I think he's just kind of coming along slow. I think he's got some confidence issues. As much as he likes to be this flashy dude, I still think there's some instability issues with him personally, and having faith in the leadership of where the direction of this team is going. So I have them winning 7 games. I think 8 is the ceiling. Yeah. 8 wins is the ceiling for this team this year, and I think that's a step, right? I think last year was tough to watch. That was a tale of 2 seasons for them. They really came on towards the end. Yep. They started to figure some things out, and now they have a whole different leadership again. So that's going to take some time. I'm not a believer in the Bears yet. I think they'll be fun to watch. But yeah, I'm not sold on them yet. 7-10 for them. This might shock you, Lance. I also have the Lions third in this division, and also winning 10-7 or going 10-7.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I'm right there, lock and step with you, man. I do think this is a massive issue with the coordinators both leaving, and is Aiden Hutchinson going to come back and be that dude? I fully believe he will. I think he's an absolute generational player as well. I think that guy's unreal. I think he's going to be awesome. But just like we saw with the Bengals last year, they can have really an insane defensive star on that defense, and that defense still can be trash.
Yep.
I'm not saying their defense can be trash or along the line of the Bengals last year, but I've never been a Jared Goff guy. I think if massive changes come for him structurally within a system, and the system changes now, you don't have the Ben Johnson. He's surrounded by talent, and I get that. I think Jahmyr Gibbs can have an absolutely bonkers season this year. If he stays healthy, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be insane, especially with them having, I think, trailing a lot of games and having to throw the ball to him a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of fun things, storylines with this offense. But when it comes to the win and loss column, I just don't think they're going to win a lot of games. I think I think the risk taking too of Dan Campbell, I think come back to bite them a lot this year. It worked out a lot for them in the past because they've had great coordination and it's taken a lot of the decision making off of Dan Campbell. I think that now that he has the sole responsibility, the way, at least the way it looks right now, and he's that risky guy, which I love, but we've seen like the likes of Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron, being a great coach for a long time, and all of a sudden he kind of loses his guys around him, and he starts taking, now he becomes a meme. Right? So I think that could be a similar thing with Dan Campbell here, kind of becoming a mean coach where like his aggressive style kind of comes back to bite him, and they lose a lot of games because of that aggressive style. Fun team. Like a lot of the guys that are part of this organization, I feel for the Detroit fan base, a starved fan base that's wanted to win for a long time. I think this is a step back this year, unfortunately, for Detroit, man. So I'm right there with you. Granted, 10 wins, a lot of teams wish they could have 10 wins. But this team going from being a Super Bowl favorite last year to 10 wins is going to be tough for these fans to digest. I just think this division is too good, and I think they're going to struggle within this division, especially with the two teams I have ahead of them in this division. Second in this division, I have the Vikings. I am a believer. I have them winning 11 games. I do think there's going to be some growing pains, though, in early stages of J.J. McCarthy's season. I don't think they just hit the ground running. I think they're going to want to try to run the ball a little bit more and play a little more conservative to start. But I am a believer. O'Connell's offense, it's good every year. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's proven. It does not matter who is throwing the ball. He finds ways to scheme guys open at an alarming rate.
Right.
No matter, even if Justin Jefferson's not even available. It's wild, bro. We've seen anybody out there find ways to get schemed open. It does not matter. And T.J. Hawkinson being healthy, I think, is a good thing for just for vibes for this team starting this year. I think him being banged up a lot last year took a lot away from what they could have done with the tight end position. T.J. Hawkinson, when healthy, is one of the best tight ends in football. And I think this offense is going to be insanely good. But I think it's going to be more efficient. I think they'll be a little less pass happy as they were last year with Darnold. I think they'll reel it in a little bit. I think the addition of bringing in Jordan Mason as a true banger, because they didn't really have that last year.
Right.
I know Aaron Jones is awesome, but he's not a true banger. He's more of a big explosive play guy in the passing game, and does a lot of with the ball in his hands after a catch, or scheming him in a big zone block, whatever. But I just think that this offense is going to be awesome. But I do think they lose 6 games. And it'll be some growing pains for JJ, but I think as the year goes on, JJ really starts to find his stride, and I think the kid's going to be really good in this offense for a long time. I think the Vikings have their guy. Whether I'm a JJ guy or not, I think I have more faith in O'Connell than anything.
Yep.
And I think he's going to figure out to get the best out of JJ. And JJ's a winner, man. He always has been every facet of his game. Going back in college, he's always had great coaches. He lands in a great spot here. But I do think they finished second in this division too. My 13-4 Packers.
Woo!
This is my Super Bowl favorite, and I'll just get out there and say this is my team that I love coming out of the NFC here. I loved what they did. Bring in Micah, that was a massive move. I mean, what's annoying to me though, I will say, being an Aaron Rodgers guy growing up, being a Favre guy growing up, I loved those guys. Those were my guys growing up. As much as a Chiefs fan I gravitated towards just Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers. Those were just my favorite quarterbacks to watch growing up. Where were these kind of aggressive moves when Aaron Rodgers was here? I don't get it.
Yep.
Now you guys want to be this aggressive. They've never been this aggressive franchise to make these kinds of moves.
Maybe that to that point, maybe that they realize
maybe it's
that,
a changing of the tide.
Yeah,
I
they're
get
realizing that.
But if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I'm sitting like, oh, now you guys want to make these big splash plays and go get generational players.
Where's my Micah Parsons?
Exactly, dude. That's so. Let alone.
No, then again, that doesn't happen every year.
Course.
So
no one would have really thought that the Packers would have been the team to really do this. And pull
100%.
So that's just for me wanting to see my guy Aaron Rodgers win multiple rings in the NFC. This is frustrating as a guy. I'm not a Packers fan, but if I did have a second team that I root for in the NFC, it's always been the Packers.
Yeah.
So I've always been a kind of a fan of the team and the quarterbacks especially, and I'm a big LaFleur fan too. So I have a lot of high hopes for this offense. Granted, with that being said, this is the foundation of my pick here is rocky because injuries. Like you said, this is a team that consistently stays snake bitten. I'm going into this though with Jordan Love remaining healthy and being an awesome player this year. LaFleur guiding this and steering this ship in a great way this year. I love the Matthew Golden pick. I think he's going to be the true number 1 wide receiver this year. I think that kid is awesome.
Yeah.
I think he has a great head on his shoulders to be a true leader out of the gate. And the vibes for him coming out of camp has just been outrageous. So I think that kid's going to get fed. I think they have one of the best young tight ends in the game at Tucker Kraft.
I like him a lot.
I think he's the second coming of George Kittle. I think he's a do-it-all tight end. He's a great blocker. Outside of George Kittle, was the best tight end last year and yards after the catch.
Right.
Unreal efficiency. I think that's a guy they can really lean into, and the offense can really lean into him more this season. And I'm a big Jayden Reed believer too. I know he's dealing with that fracture in his foot, and that could be a lingering thing. But I think it's just gonna be a pain tolerance thing for him throughout the season. I think Jayden Reed's an absolute stud. I think he could be a really good slot receiver for them, and he has been when healthy. And then they got one of the best running backs in football, Josh Jacobs, who was outstanding last year. Right. A guy that they know that they can lean on if need be. But I think this is going to be a really, really potent, balanced offense, and LaFleur just knows how to spread the ball around and find ways to scheme guys open and find ways to score. I mean, dude, this is one of the few teams out of the last couple of years that absolutely just beat the shit out of the Chiefs.
Right.
They put it on us, bro, a couple years ago. So, I mean, I'll never forget that whooping that we got from them. So I know this is a team that can win and put up points with the best of them when it's called upon. Love the Packers this year, and with the addition of Micah Parsons, I think this defense was already kind of a growing defense and getting better. Now you add a staple like that that can just do everything. You can take him and move around the linebacker, defensive line. It's the guy's unreal. I think that's a massive needle mover for me. So I have them going 13-4 and winning this division.
I think we both could agree that this is going to be a stacked division. That's why it was so difficult for me, which is why I want to kind of respectfully breeze through the NFC South. Yeah. We're not going to really spend a lot of time on this one, guys, because I think this one's pretty open and closed, and I think Trevor may or may not agree with me on how open and closed this division is. So the Saints are going to be terrible. I think they're going to be probably the team that gets the number one overall pick. I'm not going to go into real specific detail. Spencer Rattler, first-year head coach, cap-strung, old team. They're going to be ass. I have the Saints at 3-14 this year. I went through their schedule, and I was just LOLing throughout the entire thing. It's going to be bad. A team I do not believe in really at all outside of Dave Canales, who I think could be a good head coach in this league. I don't trust small quarterbacks. Trading Adam Thielen for really no reason at all, other than just doing the Vikings a solid, was just very nonsensical to me. I don't understand it at all. It made no sense.
And to make matters worse, a few hours ago, Jalen Coker was placed on the IR.
That is pretty.
Who I had high hopes for. I like Jalen Coker a lot. But I think they brought back in Hunter Renfrow. Who's it? Yeah,
he's not good. He hasn't been good for a long time.
They also have a big player on that team that I'm a big fan of. So.
I mean, yeah, I think that they're they got young talent, but again, I think it all comes around by the guy they traded everything in the world for, and I just don't believe in him. I'm going to say the Panthers are right back to where they were. I think they're 5-12 team. I don't like the Panthers at all. I try to find the positives. I think they have a solid but not good, great defense.
Their defense is fucking bad. So
we'll see.
They were the worst defense of football last year.
Oh, they're going to be bad again? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay. I have no hope in that defense.
Yeah.
But
I think they got better, but that's based upon their draft picks. Sure. I think their draft picks they were
historically bad last year. They were historically
they were
terrible. One of the worst defenses of all time. Yep.
Like I said, they have a recipe for bad football. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what Michael Penix is. I saw him play a little bit last season. I'll be honest with you guys, I wasn't that impressed. I think that they're going to have one of the best football players in the world for their offense this year in Bijan Robinson, and obviously Drake London's legit.
Two of the best offensive players.
Yeah, I think Drake London's going to be really good this year. But again, it's so much hinging upon the quarterback play. Sure. Raheem Morris, I think, is a good coach. Yeah. He obviously deserves to be a head coach. I don't know though if he's a guy that, because I think this is one of those teams that I think if you put a Sean McVay on, or if you put any of the top tier head coaches in the league on this team, they probably win 10 games. I just don't know if Raheem's the guy that's going to get them over the hump. And, some really bad decision making is above him at the GM level, paying Kirk Cousins all that money and it blows up in their face. Taking Michael Penix as early as they did. I don't know if those were good decisions to make at the quarterback position, which is why I think this team's going to continue to suffer this year. I think they'll be a scrappy team that kind of, stays in the mix in some of these games. They'll win some divisional games they probably shouldn't, but I think they're also going to lose some pretty frustrating games as well, because I just don't know if they're going to have the firepower from their quarterback position to win some of these games they should. I have the Falcons at 7-10.
They're a mid team.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a very meh team this year. So that leaves one team, a team that I am very bullish on this year, if you will, the Buccaneers. I think that Baker Mayfield showed us last season what he really is when given the opportunity to play around real talent.
Lost his coordinator, though.
Lost his coordinator, but kept his head coach. And so I think that with the continuity of his head coach and knowing what Baker Mayfield can do with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin will be back. They also have that rookie Abuka.
Emeka Egbuka.
Abuka, yeah. I really like that kid.
Stud.
2 good running backs. I think Bucky Irving has the chance to be a top 10 running back in this league, and Rashad White's a very good running back out of the back, catching the ball out of the backfield, making plays when needs to be. Oh,
don't forget about Sean Tucker too. That their third string.
Sean Tucker's good. 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙁 is going to come out of the season hurt. But I think 𝚂𝙁𝙸, when playing, is a positive tight end. I don't know how great he is, but he's a good tight end. They also have a very good offensive line.
Mike Evans might be the most reliable receiver in football.
You have Tristan Wirfs, 𝚂𝙁𝙀𝙀. Like they got
Is Tristan Wirfs healthy though?
Yeah, he's going to play week 1. They said he's banged up, but he's going to play.
I hope he's good.
One of the best left tackles in football.
Yeah.
And like I said, 𝚂𝙁𝙀𝙀's a very good player. Mock's a very good. Mock, how you say his name. Very good offensive lineman.
Yeah.
This team's going 13-4. I like the Bucs a lot, dude. I think they're going to feast on their bad. Yes. They're in the worst division in football, and the rest of their schedule, they have some tough games. Yeah. But with the firepower they have and the good, solid defense and a defensive-minded head coach with that defense, that's what I'm saying. Like they're going to feast on this division. They're going to get at least 5 wins out of this division. Like I think that the Bucs are going to feast on their schedule, and I think Baker Mayfield builds off what he did last year: 4,500 yards, 40+ touchdowns. I think the Bake Show continues, man. I have the Bucs at 13-4.
13-4 is that's okay. I mean, yeah.
I
think they peaked last year, in my opinion. But I think this division is easily probably the worst division in football. It's as far as win totals, in my opinion. I think a lot of teams across the league are going to be feasting on a lot of these teams. Saints, I'm going to make it quick. I have them at 1-16.
Yep.
They're going to be fighting for that number 1 pick. They need to find their quarterback. The quarterback they drafted this year lost out to Spencer Rattler. That's crazy, and I feel so bad for Christian Olave. Chris Olave is a super talented dude. He needs to be traded. I don't understand. Like he's just rotting away there, and it's really frustrating to see a talent like that rotting away there. I think he needs to be a Chief. That'd be really cool. 1-16. So we'll move on from there. The Panthers, I think they improve a little bit. I liked what I saw out of Bryce Young last year to end the season. I feel like he kind of found himself when they put him back into the lineup. Dave Canales is a hell of an offensive mind. I think they do eventually over the next couple of years, and I think they got their true wide receiver 1 in Ted McMillan. That kid, 𝚂𝙁𝙁 McMillan, he is going to change things for them. I think he's a true alpha. The way I felt about Brian Thomas Jr. coming into the league last year is the same way I feel about 𝚂𝙁𝙁 McMillan. I think this kid is going to be awesome, really good for this team for a long time. And I think it starts this year. I think he's got a lot of untapped potential, even as what we saw him dominating in college. I think that guy's gonna be an awesome pro. But 5-12 is what I got for them. I got them eking out 5 wins. I think that's the max, honestly. I just think their defense is so bad.
Yep.
They're gonna be chasing points. I think they'll put up a lot of points offensively this year because they will be chasing, and there'll be some garbage time games. But not much I expect for the Panthers this season. I think they could be next couple of years a better team for sure. Falcons, I have at 7-10. I'm right there with you. I looked at their schedule. I just couldn't click a lot of W's for them, man. As much as I like Drake London and I absolutely adore Bijan Robinson, the guy's the full package when you need a running back. That guy can literally just do everything. High IQ player, too. People sleep on his IQ. The guy knows how to find ways, and he makes the first guy miss and at a crazy rate.
Yep.
So I like a lot of their pieces. I do think, I question the leadership of this team, if I'm being honest. I like Raheem, but he hasn't proven much as a coach, a head coach, in my opinion. Coordinator, great, yeah, for sure. I think he can establish a winning culture there, but this season, I'm not buying it yet. Drake London, I'm a big fan of him. I love that kid. I think he's having a massive year. I think he's an opportunity, I think, to lead this league in receiving yards, in my opinion. I think Drake London's going to be just targeted at a crazy rate this year.
Yep.
7-10 is what I have for them. And I mean, so I got the Bucs winning this division, similar to the way they won the division last year. It wasn't like running away. I thought they were awesome last year. I think the offense was awesome. I don't think their offense is going to be as good as it was last year. How can it be, in my opinion? Baker had the best year of his career last year. I don't think that's happening again. I don't think he's topping that. I think Baker's going to be really good this year, but he doesn't have Chris Godwin for maybe the first 6-7 weeks of the year. We don't know when Chris Godwin. I know he's not on the IR yet. He's not placed, but like it's a weird situation going on with Chris Godwin. I know he got the extension. They paid him already, but coming off of a surgery, coming off a major injury, most of the time when you're coming off a major injury and surgery like that, it's the next season after that where you kind of find your rhythm again. I don't expect Chris Godwin, but I do think 𝚂𝙭 𝙭𝙾 is the truth. I think the hype is real with him coming out of camp. I do like what I'm hearing out of him. And Mike Evans, like I said before I even started talking here, is maybe the most reliable receiver in football. The guy, year in, year out, you just chalk him up for 1,008. You know what I mean? The dude is just, he's right there. And the chemistry between him and Baker has been fun to watch. The defense, though, is questionable. The defense falls flat in big parts, big situations. Situationally, last year, they allowed some things to happen that shouldn't happen. So I don't have a lot of faith in that defense. I think Baker's going to have to put up some points, so I think his numbers should look good again. I have them winning division at 9-8. I don't expect this team to be something special. I think they peaked a little bit last year offensively. I don't expect Baker to run for damn near 550 yards again. I don't expect that to happen. He ran his ass off last year. I don't think that's going to happen again. And I got questions about this offensive line. Can Wirfs stay healthy? He's already banged up heading into the year. I know we've seen the splits, though, with and without Wirfs, and it's not good. So I not the best start. I know he's healthy. I know he's not on the IR, and that's good. But he's a guy that can really fall flat, and if he goes down, that's a massive concern. So I have them at 9-8 winning the division.
I like it. We both have it's funny, like you have them winning the division, but we're 4 games apart.
Yeah. Yes, I just think that's because this division, I think a lot of teams across the league are going to face on this division, in my opinion.
Sure. All right, well, we have a more interesting division, the last of the NFC divisions that we're going to talk about now. That is the NFC West. So I don't think there's going to be a bad team in this division. I will say that. I think that all 4 teams are going to be solid, decently good teams. One team just kind of rises above the rest, in my opinion. All
teams have good defenses.
Yes, and I think they all have good coaches.
Yeah.
Like, I think they all 4 have good coaches.
It's crazy saying about the Cardinals now at this point.
Yeah, I think Jonathan, he's earned that respect. I think he's a super cornball. The dude knows ball.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him some credit, but I'm unfortunately going to have him finish last this season. I think the Cardinals, again, with the whole undersized quarterback thing, you know how I am, dude. I think Kyler Murray's fun. I don't think he's a winning quarterback in this league. I think he's proven that time and time again. I also don't know how focused he is on actually being a leader, a quarterback that is driven by wins. I don't know if he is that. Now, I think Marvin Harrison's going to have a baller year.
Should.
I do think that. I think their defense is going to be really good. I think they're going to have a solid defense. I think Trey McBride is going for the crown as the best tight end in football. I really believe it. I think him and Brock Bowers are like at that apex.
Mackey Award winner.
I really believe it, dude. If Trey McBride's touchdown totals go up, I think that he could claim the crown.
Outside of Trav, that's my dude, man.
Yeah, I think that Brock Bowers right now is probably the best tight end, but I think that nobody outside of Brock Bowers is like he's better than Trey McBride. Yeah. Like, he's the only one that I would say is better than him right now. So, solid nucleus. They can build around it. I do think this is going to be Kyler Murray's last year as the Cardinals quarterback, though. I think they're going to move off of him. But I have them as a scrappy 8-9 type of team. I think they'll be in a lot of games. I think they have, like I said, they have a good nucleus.
Even the bottom team in the division still have an 8 record.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm high on this division, man. I think the NFC West is going to be really good. I have the Seahawks finishing 3rd in this division at 9-8. The reason why is because I'm actually optimistic on the Seahawks. Like, I think they could be a team that squeaks into the playoffs, actually. But I don't have them in the playoffs right now because I don't know if they have enough to throw to, if that makes sense. Like, I think that JSN's a good receiver. I like JSN. Why the fuck did they trade DK Metcalf? There's no reason in the world to do that, especially when you go and get Sam Darnold. Why would you go and get a 29-year-old quarterback to go and become the guy for the next few years if you don't have your best receiver? That made no sense at all. Now, I understand that McDonald wants to play the slow game. He's going to want to run the ball, and he's going to want his defense to lead the way because he's a defensive-minded coach. But you still need weapons for your veteran quarterback you're paying $100 million to.
I will say they drafted Torrey Horton, who's a similar player to DK. Not the same player, but
we don't know what he is yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't know. DK Metcalf is a proven 26-year-old, 27-year-old receiver.
He got paid.
He got paid. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I feel like when you draft a guy, you pay him. You know what I mean? Unless he just sucks. But DK Metcalf does not suck, and I just didn't understand that trade at all. I think if they had DK Metcalf, this is a 10-11 win team, but because they're going to be relying on JSN, and Horton might become something, we'll see. They had a good running game, but Kenneth Walker
injury. A very heavy run game.
But both those guys deal with injuries, so I am concerned about that. Well, mostly Kenneth Walker.
The Kubiak off at the running game is just unreal.
Yeah, so I think, like I said, they're going to be a good team. Definitely not a bad team. I'm not going to be calling Cowherd, though, and pick them to win this fucking division. I have them as a 9-8 win team, 9-8 team finishing third. The 49ers are loaded in a lot of ways, but they're also old and they deal with so many injuries. I think this is a year that it finally catches up to them because now they're going to be relying on Brock Purdy, who I think they foolishly paid. Trent Williams is going to be 38 years old this year.
Yeah.
George Kittle's 31. Fred Warner's not old, but he's going to be 29. And as a linebacker, like, that's your best defensive player. They lost Hufanga. They lost Greg Greenlaw, who are injury-prone guys already, but losing them, you don't just replace those guys in 1 year. I think the Niners are a very top-heavy team because now they got Christian McCaffrey back, but is he going to be healthy? You know what I mean?
Pearsall's the wide receiver 1 right now.
You know what I mean? Brandon Ayuk's going to miss at least
I'm a
6
Pearsall
games.
guy.
Yeah.
But
you just paid Brandon Ayuk, blows his knee out.
might start week 1.
Yes.
That's
think about that.
Crazy, bro.
The Niners are going to lose a lot of games this year.
Yeah.
But because of Kyle Shanahan and the continuity they have with their staff and getting Robert Saleh back was huge.
Huge.
I think that they're still a 10-win team. Yeah. I think that they will be healthy enough to get to 10 wins and squeak into the postseason.
And Brock's a good quarterback.
He's a fine quarterback. He's a fine quarterback. Yeah. He's not a guy, though, that I would be like, all right, he's leading my fucking team. Like, there's at least 13 quarterbacks I'd take over Brock Purdy.
100%.
So, but he's good. Yeah. And I think he's going to be good enough for them to squeak by, win 10 games, and get into the postseason as the 7th seed. I have the Niners at 10-7. You guys know I have an affinity for Matt Stafford and Sean McVay, especially when they're together.
Yep.
Yes, there are concerns about Matt Stafford's availability. I think it's actually been kind of overblown, though, because we saw him when the practices actually started to matter. He was there for every single snap. Matt Stafford's going to be healthy enough. They added Devontae fucking Adams, dude, in the place of a former great Cooper Kupp, who I don't think is... I was telling a buddy last night, because he was asking me about Cooper Kupp, do you think he's cooked? I said, no, but he's on the grill. You know what I mean? Like, he's on the grill.
He's cooking.
He's cooking. Exactly. That's the
way. Cooking.
Cooper Cook. You know what I mean? Like, he's getting cooked.
Yeah.
But the trading or moving off of him and getting Devontae Adams is such a massive upgrade.
Especially in the red zone.
Oh my God.
His separation at the line of scrimmage against Prescott is like,
and they're 2 running backs deep with Kyron Williams and Corum.
Yeah.
They have a good offensive line. But here's the reason why I'm so big on the Rams this year. This defense is going to be nasty, bro. With Brandon Fisk and Jared Verse leading the way in year 2 together, dude, those were absolute hits. Yep. And Harvestine on the offensive line, like, there's young guys they've hit on their last 3 draft classes.
Yeah.
This team that was who technically is young is now getting to that veteran age. I think this team, dude, is ready to win and ready to win at high levels. I do think they're going to be some... Because the division is tough, they're going to lose a couple games in the division, and I think that because they have some tough games outside of the division, I think that they're going to lose a couple games here and there. But they're a team like the Rams are always a team to me that might get battered or bruised throughout the year, but in the playoff time they start to ascend. I have them at 11-6, but they are without question a Super Bowl favorite for me. I think that even though their record may not be the best in the conference, I think they're going to be that team that when they're in the playoffs, like, oh fuck, because look. The Eagles were killing everybody last year.
Yeah.
Who's the one team that gave them fits in the playoffs? Dude, Matt Stafford
I believe they would have beat them in the playoffs if it wasn't a freaking blizzard game and it worked into the Eagles' favor. Why do you think I hate the ball with Saquon?
Bro, why do you think I hate it when elements play a factor? I want domes and I want retractable roofs because I'm with you. Yeah. I think Stafford leads them into that victory.
Into that game, it was close. Stafford put that ball on them.
Saquon had like 300 yards. Like, Saquon was murdering them, and they still almost won that game, dude. Like, that's what I'm trying to say.
Great, dude.
He led them down to the 20-yard line. Yeah. They were going to win the game. Like, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, I think the Rams are back with a vengeance, and they win this division, and they move forward towards a Super Bowl run, potentially. Not getting ahead of myself. I'm just saying that they have a chance. They win this division 11-6.
Yeah, so this division is going to beat each other up.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I think these games are always good between these teams. No matter how bad the Seahawks have been, there's and Cardinals too. We've seen the Cardinals beat the Niners in games where like they had no business beating them.
Right.
This is a good division. They know each other really, really well. So much talent in this division, especially defensively. I mean, and obviously it's insane. But and great coaches and coordinators throughout this whole entire division. The Cardinals I have last in the division as well because they're just the odd man out. Like if they were in another, like say they were in the South, they'd probably have a great chance of winning that division. In my personal opinion, which is crazy. I think they'd be battling the Bucs for that division. I have them going 6-11. I just think this division's tough. I think they're going to lose a lot of these internal divisional games, just because I feel that much better about the other teams. And tough schedule for this division round, but I have them winning 6-11. I do agree. I think Kyler's probably on his way out. So 6-11, not much more to talk about there on that one. The Seahawks I have also, but I like the Seahawks though, man. I think this division between the top 3 teams here win a lot of games. I have them at 10-7. I have them winning 10 games in the 3rd place spot. I don't have them making the playoffs, but I have them only 1 game behind the Niners, who's above them at 11-6. And obviously my divisional winner here is the Rams. I'm right there with you, but also eking this division out though, but with the same record as the Niners, 11-6.
Okay.
I had this division really, really tight. So 11-6, 11-6, 10-7, and then 6-11 the Cardinals. I think the Seahawks, the Niners, and the Rams are really gonna be battling out throughout this. I think it's gonna be close. I like the Rams obviously the best. But there is some questions, man. If Stafford goes down, are we really gonna be that excited about who's their backup again?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
Hell
yeah,
no.
yeah.
So, you want to talk cooked? That motherfucker.
But at the same time, we have seen Jimmy G in a good system execute and be on a Super Bowl team.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be like, if Stafford goes down, do I think they're cooked? I don't, though.
Right.
I think McVay, outside of Andy Reid, my personal opinion, is the best coach of football. So I think that great of leadership and with that roster being loaded as it is, you got Puka Nacua is becoming one of the best receivers in football. You got Devonta Adams, the veteran, the savvy veteran who's been there and done it. Is a great addition to this offense. Great offensive line, great defensive line. That alone wins a lot of games.
Right.
And I do think that the downfall of the Niners, I still think they're a really good team and can be considered a Super Bowl caliber team without question because they've been around and they are damn near every year. They have a lot of questions too. So I think this division is going to be tight throughout the year. I think there's going to be teams that are top division, and then I think the Niners and the Rams are going to be leapfrogging each other first and second place of the division all throughout the year. And I think the Rams get them at the end and top this division out with the same record at 11-6.
Like it, man. That's good. That's well done.
Yeah, I think this division is just too competitive. These teams always damn near split games with each other throughout the season. I think it'll be a fun one, but I do have faith, especially if Stafford stays healthy the whole year, doesn't miss any games, which is asking a lot at this point. He's probably going to miss a game or two if I had a bet on it. But,
especially if he gets, because there's some good pass rushers in his division alone.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very very high demand for him to be able to play every single week at 37 years old with, chronic back issues. He's had chronic back issues.
He hasn't been practicing or playing any real reps in the preseason. Nothing. So
right.
That is a concern, man.
Yeah.
If he takes one big hit from one of these guys in this division, bro. Yeah, I mean, it could be lights out for him for the rest of the season, depending on Jimmy G, which, like I said, I think Jimmy G could lead the way. The dude's won a lot of games in his career. Right. He's been a part of great systems. So I'm not going to count them out just because Jimmy G's at the helm. But that is a massive concern.
I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah. So we're going to switch over to the AFC side of things, but we're going to tell you real quick our seedings for the NFC playoffs. So 1 through 7, here are my picks for the playoffs for the NFC. I have the Bucs, Vikings, Rams, Commanders, Packers, Eagles, 49ers.
Yeah, so my 1 seed in the NFC is the Green Bay Packers. 2nd seed would be the Eagles. 3rd seed being the Rams. 4th seed being the Buccaneers. Followed by the Vikings, Niners, and Commanders.
Nice. Okay, so we have pretty much the same teams, if I'm not mistaken.
It's different divisional winners.
Yeah, it's kind of mixed around.
Yeah.
The AFC side is going to be interesting as well. I think it's more open on the NFC side, so maybe it's not as unpredictable on the AFC side, but I'm really excited to get to this. Let's go to the AFC East first. Hate to break it to you guys, but this is probably the most, outside of a couple of places in the NFL that I won't mention yet, this is about as slam dunk as it gets for the AFC East. I think so, but I might surprise you in one regard, though, Trevor. So I'm going to get this out of the way. I like Aaron Glenn a lot, and I think he is a guy that the Jets got right at head coach. But this offense is going to be bad. When Justin Fields is your starting quarterback in week 1, that makes me nervous. I know he can run. He's a very, very good athlete. And they just paid Garrett Wilson, and I feel like they're going to be donating checks to him this year because I just don't think he's going to get the ball enough to really justify that. And I 100% agree with them paying him, by the way. I think they're a quarterback away. I think they need to upgrade at quarterback this next offseason and get a guy that can lead them down the field and create plays more than just with his feet. And again, I'm a fan of Justin Fields.
I'm a big fan.
I just don't think he's a franchise quarterback. Yeah. I think he's just a really good talent. You know what I mean?
For fantasy.
He is. 100%.
He's
yes.
fun for betting and fantasy.
And him and Breece Hall
He's
put
gonna
up
run.
numbers.
Maybe a hot take. I think he runs for over 1,000 yards.
And you're probably right. That's what.
So for fantasy people, anybody playing fantasy, you can get him like damn near last pick in 10, 12 team leagues. So that dude runs for 1,000 yards. You're gonna have
and there is a saving grace with that too, because when you have a running quarterback, your turnovers are gonna be a little bit lower.
He always has lots,
which means your defense is probably gonna be thanking that because it's gonna slow the game down.
Yeah.
Which means the Jets will probably be in a lot of games. You know what I mean? They'll probably be close games.
That defense is awesome.
But because of the fact that almost every matchup they're going to have the disadvantage at quarterback, I think they lose a lot of games, even though they mean a lot of games. Both New York teams are going to be like that this year. I really do think that, ironically enough. I have the Jets at 5-12. I just don't think they're going to win enough games this year. The Dolphins are a team to me that I think are at the very end of what they are. Trevor, I hate saying this because I love the guy a lot, but I think Mike McDaniel is going to have his last year as the Dolphins head coach this year.
He is the odds-on favorite to lose his job.
And I said this. I made this prediction before I knew that. I think Mike McDaniel gets fired this year, and I hate saying that.
Their stick is Rant's course.
And I think he goes back to San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan and regroups with that, and that's going to be a great thing for the 49ers.
I think 49ers fans will be happy with that.
Yes, but I think this is going to get broken up. I think Tyreek Hill is going to get traded this year. I really do. I think Tyreek Hill is going to get traded. I think he's going to go to a contender. I'm not going to say who yet. I have a couple ideas, but I will predict that at a later time.
Yeah, I have a good vibe.
Yes, I think he's going to get traded to a couple teams. To one of these, there's a couple contenders I think want Tyreek Hill. I think they're a 6-win team this year. Tua Tagovailoa's injury concerns, their defense. I don't know, like outside of a couple players here and there, what the Dolphins even have on defense. Losing Jonnu Smith at tight end is a massive loss. I know he's not great.
Good pickup,
but
good pickup by the
Steelers. Hell of a good pickup. So I just don't know what direction they're heading. So naturally, my idea is, well, you're heading down then. Like if we don't know what you are, that's a good things outside of a couple skill positions. I can't get excited for you. So I'm gonna say in this division, with their schedule, which is tough as well, with the vibes being bad, I'm a vibes guy. If you don't have good vibes, I don't really buy into you.
Yeah,
I think the Dolphins are on the downward trajectory and have their worst season under Mike McDaniel, and they go 6-11 and obviously miss the playoffs by a lot of games. I am really big on the Patriots this year. Really big, Trevor. I think Drake May is the truth. I think Henderson's going to be maybe rookie of the year, and I'm not kidding. I think he has a chance. That defense is going to be very underrated because they got motherfucking Mike Vrabel, dude.
It's moves out.
Mike Vrabel is my dude. I love Mike Vrabel.
My number 3 coach right
Dude, I think I'm just going to say it now. I think he wins Coach of the Year.
Fuck, dude. Still
I'm
my
sorry.
thunder,
That's
bro.
not you, bro. I apologize, but I think
this is crazy, dude. Me and Lance don't talk shit.
We have not talked one time.
We don't know anything. Yeah, we can already beat it too. Like that's my coach of the year.
That's my coach of the year,
Fucking
dude.
crazy,
Mike Vrabel is my coach of the year. I think he gets back in the swing of things and shows that the Titans fucked up by firing him.
100%.
I know he probably wanted out of Tennessee, but that was a terrible decision on their behalf, and it's showing because I don't think Brian Callahan's the guy either. But Vrabel is going to get this shit moving. I didn't initially like him going to New England because I kind of wanted to see him go to a place that I felt like had a better chance of winning in that division. But I think he's going to give the Bills a motherfucking run for his money.
Do you remember how much Mike Vrabel's led Titans teams that are far less talented, in my opinion, than this Patriots team gave the Chiefs fits?
Yes, dude.
Telling you right now.
Dude, they got the 1 seed in his second to last year with Ryan Tannehill. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, I think this is an 11-win team. I have the Patriots at 11-6 because, dude, there's so many games on their schedule that are so winnable.
Man.
Dude, they have so many games, and I think they split with the Bills. I think they split with the Bills, and they get to 11 wins, and they are my 5 seed in the AFC playoff picture. I have the Patriots shocking the shit out of people this year. I have them at 11-6, and from Trevor's face, I feel like there's some similarities. But let me just finish this real quick. The Bills are still the representation of this division, in my opinion. I don't think they actually. Dude, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think the Bills got better this offseason. I really don't. I don't think they got better. I know they got James Cook back, but when it's a running back who's already been there, how much of a difference does that really make? I think they have one of the worst wide receiver corps in the league. Nobody's talking about this, but you know, Trevor, that they don't let people record their wide receiver room in training camp. They did not allow reporters to record their wide receivers. Keon Coleman looks like he could be an abject failure. I'm not trying to be too critical because I think the kid's got potential and he only played 1 season, but I was not impressed. Their tight end position, Dalton Kincaid and Knox, are they ever going to elevate their games? And Matt Milano on the defensive side, 31 years old, injury-prone player. Dawkins, their left tackle, is now 31 years old. I know age isn't always a thing, but he's getting older. Like, there are things with this Bills team that do worry me. Legitimately worry me. Josh Allen was donated an MVP. How does he react from that afterwards? Like, there are things about this team. Sean McDermott, with his issues and the pressure now and the expectation of, okay, this is year fucking 8. Are we ever going to win? Like, there's all this mounting pressure. I still think, though, they are the class of the division. They win this division by 1 game. Because, like I said, they split with the Patriots, and I think they win this division by 1 game. They go 12-5 because I still have a ton of respect for Josh Allen. I think their defense is going to be fine. I don't think their defense is going to be great. They're going to be fine, and they're going to do just enough to win this division by 1 game. I am very interested to hear what Trevor's got to say, though, because he's been smirking this entire time. So go ahead and cook, bro.
Can't hide it, bro. I've been waiting to talk about this division. I'm not going to talk too much about the Jets. I don't believe in them. I have them going 4-13.
Yeah.
They'll be one of the worst teams in football, but I like Justin Fields a lot. I think they have the proper changes in place to be changing the direction of that team, but I have no faith in them at all this season. Dolphins I have at 7-10. 1 game more than you. So I think that offense is still potent when healthy, but you talk about vibes. I think this is all going to fall apart this year. It feels like it's so obvious. With the entirety of this team, I think like I said with McDaniels, I think this shtick's just kind of ran its course. I just think everyone's kind of getting over it. I think Dolphins fans are over it, in my opinion. I love my guy Tyreek Hill, but I mean the guy's just a walking, there's this chaos around him in his life, man.
Sure,
and it's unfortunate, with his situation with his baby mamas, and the current divorce he's going through and stuff. It's just been just bad vibes all the way around for that team, in my opinion. 7-10.
Oh, shit. Okay. Here we go.
Finishing second place in this division is the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. All right.
There's a shift in this division this year.
Oh, man.
I don't know for the long foreseeable future because I still think the Bills are still the class of this division. I just got a vibe, man. Something happens this year in this division. I don't know. There's a shakeup, in my personal opinion.
I fucking love it.
I still have the Bills going 13-4. You're not disrespecting them.
Whoa, what? What? Say that one more time.
Bills are going 13-4, winning second in this division. I think the easiest schedule in football this season is the Patriots' schedule. I went through every single game and was picking every single game. I could not find a way to keep giving them more and more losses. I have the Patriots going 14-3.
Holy.
Listen to me. Every other year, every other 4 or 5 handful of years, there's a crazy story that happens. There's a crazy story that happens in the NFL. And it takes the league by storm. I think the Patriots are going to be the story of the NFL this season. I'm a Drake May guy. I think Drake May is going to take this league by storm this year. Similar to when Josh Allen burst onto the scene, and everyone's like, who is this guy? He's doing with his arms, his legs. The addition of Mike Vrabel and the leadership of this team and the additions that they got this offseason, drafting a true left tackle for him and Will Campbell in the draft this year, absolute dog. With the additions of Carlton Davis, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, Milton Williams, I could go on. This defense is going to be absolutely legit. This offense is going to be, I think Stephon Diggs is going to be awesome. And ironically, Stephon Diggs is going to be his wide receiver 1 when he beats the Bills in this division.
I love that storyline, dude.
Tell them it's going to happen. The Patriots are going to win this division this year. They're going to split games with the Bills. They're both going to win their home games. But Josh Allen is going to fall flat.
That is going.
I don't give a fuck. I could definitely be. Listen, I could be wrong on this right now. But go look at the Patriots' schedule. And I understand the Patriots have been getting some love. Drake May has been getting some love this offseason. And it's real. Drake May is the real deal. Drake May coming in. If it wasn't, listen, I think he's still going to be the best quarterback coming out of that draft class. And I know he came in the same draft as Jaden Daniels. I get it,
but I can see it. Yeah, Drake
May with the leadership of Josh McDaniels' offense. Listen, Josh McDaniels is a head coach, absolute shit head coach. He's one of the best and most successful offensive coordinators. The way you guys feel about Spags and his success as a defensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels is that and more. He has more rings.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Listen,
you're not wrong.
I know he's a shit head coach, but Josh McDaniels has been a part of some of the best offenses in football history. And now he's going to simplify this offense. They drafted Kyle Williams, a kid I like a lot too, a receiver who's a sneaky receiver in that offense. And he's got Demario Douglas in the slot, who's a sneaky good slot receiver. This offensive line is completely ramped. This offensive line is awesome. It's going to be awesome. Drake May is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in football this year. He's got wheels. The boy can run if he needs to. Mike, with the leadership of Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels simplifying this offense for him, I just have a vibe, dude. This is my hottest take maybe ever.
I think it's safe to say that is.
I don't care. And this is not about me not liking them. I actually have a ton of...
Well, I have them as 11-win team, so it's like I think they're going to suck.
I just want this to be misconstrued as Bills hate. I had them winning 13 games. Right? And I had Josh Allen I fucking love Josh Allen, but I think there's always a weird shakeup every single year. There's maybe not to this degree.
Yeah.
But there's a generational player. I think Drake May is a generational player, and it just happens to be in the same division as Josh Allen. I'm sorry, Bills fans.
That's great. That builds intrigue, though, because that division's been ass since Josh Allen took over, so he needs that guy,
Go look at the schedule and tell me where they're getting... I couldn't click a lot of games where they're going to lose.
God, I thought I was being generous with 11.
This is why I was smirking. Like, dude, you were all hyping up them being second in the division. I got them winning 14 games this
year. You're over here like, fuck you, Lance. I'm going to do this.
The Chiefs are the best team in football this year. Let's just jump out ahead of it. We all know that that's where we're going. We know who the best team in football is. The story of the NFL is going to be Drake May-led Patriots, Mike Vrabel changing this team and becoming the coach of the year. Because most of the time, it's the coach of the year wins because he took a team from one of the worst to one of the best. The worst, the first is the narrative, typically. Literally is going to happen this year. They're going to outpace the Bills.
Julie goes, I'm about to pass out.
I don't care. I don't care. I've been sitting on this tape for a while. Since Vrabel became the head coach. I've been brewing on this and figuring out a way how I'm going to get here. And then they kept adding more players. They kept bolstering this offensive line. They kept adding defensive players, dogs. And then they drafted a true left tackle, maybe the best left tackle in this draft, in Will Compton. Or not Will Compton.
I was going to say, fuck that dude.
Will Campbell. Shit. Will Campbell. I think this is just one of those stories, man, that comes out of nowhere. Everyone's kind of expecting to be better. I get that. This is going to be one of the best teams in football this year.
Holy shit.
With the second best record in the NFL. 14-3 Patriots.
I'm trying to rack my brain, because you've had some spicy ones in the past, but the reason why I like this one though. Like I'm not like disagreeing with you at all.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to rack my brain around the idea of like how it's gonna be translated if this happens. Like I'm trying to play the world out. You know what I mean? Like if you remember how we like try to play like the scenario of like if the Chiefs sort of three-peated, like how much that changes everything, like the ripple effect of that.
Yeah.
If the Patriots not only win this division this year, but go 14-3, like the ripple effect of what that does, because McDermott's fired, even though they would go 13-4. They lose their own division, he's getting fired.
Everything you thought about the Patriots last year, throw it out the window.
Yeah, like
it's an entirely different situation.
Obviously,
coaching staff, everything has changed. The entire offensive line is completely revamped. The defense is going to be way better. They got Stephon Diggs. Listen, when Stephon Diggs is healthy, he's one of the best receivers in football, bro. I know he's a little older. He's coming off an ACL. The poetry.
Ruben just said, Trevor, if something happens to Julia,
bro,
you don't kill Julia, please, Trevor. No, like
I could very well be wrong.
I'm so obsessed.
I only
with
have them winning division by one game and it's just
I'm so obsessed with this now because think about it. Like, the ripple effect is what I'm so like obsessed on. Like, what would happen to the Bills?
Yeah. What's the narrative going to be for Josh Allen?
Gets fired. Yeah, like then the conversation would shift from is Josh Allen not the best quarterback in the league? Is he the best quarterback in his division?
But
stuff like that would become a conversation.
McDermott's been one of the guys we said that should be fired a long time ago.
Yeah.
We felt that way for years. So this is the nail in the coffin. We would be that surprised if they lose this division this year by 1 game to the Patriots. Will you be that surprised if all those coaches? Because we've been trying to make all the blame game for Josh Allen why he hasn't been successful. We've been trying to blame the coach. So all the Bills and all the people that love the Bills can completely lean into that this year when they lose the division because they can blame the coach. It wasn't Josh Allen.
Well, people are saying that they think Diggs is cooked.
Oh.
We got Demetrio.
He's been healthy.
Sorry, I'm saying your name wrong, brother.
Every year he's been healthy. How has he cooked? Every year when he was. Was he not awesome for the Texans last year?
Bro, I stand for Stephon Diggs. I told you this last year.
I said he's
still the number one receiver.
He doesn't need to be elite. He just needs to be what he's always been.
Holy shit!
I'm telling you, bro.
This just took over the show, man.
I've been sitting on this for a minute.
No, John Marshall's saying that the Pats go 7-10.
Okay.
What do you guys say to that, Trav?
That means that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, bro.
Oh.
This team is going to be so good.
I did not see, guys. I promise you, on like any life you want me to put it on, I didn't know Trevor was going to say that. I swear to you, I did not know that. You know what? Fuck it. We're going to do it real quick. We're going to pull up the schedule for the Pats.
Yep, go ahead.
We're doing this because everyone keeps talking about, we'll pull up their schedule. We're pulling up the fucking schedule. Yeah. I'm so hyped right now, dude. This just made my day. Okay. All right. So their schedule goes home against the Raiders.
Two dubs immediately in this one.
Yeah, home against the Raiders, at the Dolphins. Then they have the Steelers, they have the Panthers, then go to the Bills, go to the Saints, go to the Titans, home against the Browns, home against the Falcons, at Tampa Bay against the Bucks, home against the Jets, at the Bengals, at the Giants, or home against the Giants. Then they have a late bye week, which is great. Home against the Bills, at the Ravens, at the Jets, and then home against the Dolphins. Trev, you might actually have a point here.
One of those losses against the Bucks, one of those losses against the Bills, one of those losses against the Ravens.
Dude, I mean, think about it. They have Raiders, Panthers,
schedule is cake.
Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Jets, Bengals, Giants, Jets, Dolphins. Like
the 4 losses. The 4 losses or the 3 losses I gave them are the Bills. They split with the Bills. They lose to the Ravens. Ravens are just the better team in that matchup. That's a tough matchup for them. I have them losing to the Bucks. It's just a shootout. The Bucks just get the better of them. Those are the 3 losses.
I mean, you make a valid point. That schedule is ass, dude.
The schedule is it's the easiest schedule in football.
Ruben says, thank God I'm not driving.
Hey, listen, dude, go look at the schedule and tell me where you. I mean,
Trevor got me locked.
I already locked when I was looking at their schedule. Yeah, and listen, when I looked in their schedule, I already looked at them as a really good team going into the schedule. Yeah. They are better than all of those teams they're facing. They're better than everyone in the division, in my personal opinion, this year, other than Bills. If you want, they split by 1 game, guys. Yeah. I don't have them winning this division by 3 games. I had them winning 14
it's
14
ironic
games,
that
which
the Bills
is wild.
winning the division by 1 game.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. So how crazy?
Yeah. That's why I'm just like, I'm entertained.
Their schedule is cake, bro.
Man. You know what we need to do this year for Pick'ems? I'm going to buy us a WWE belt, and whoever wins Pick'ems that week gets to wear the belt for the show. But if you if you write about this, I'm going to get a belt with your name on it, and it's going to be behind you. Because that's...
I already put money on the division.
Spice.
Oh, I put my money where... I don't even remember.
Probably plus 800, probably. Yeah. It's probably like plus 800.
I put my money where my mouth is, dude. I'm confident in this team.
I might throw some bones on
if they lose this division by 1 game, I'm not going to be like, oh. But my take will still be relevant enough to be like, this team has arrived. Drake May has arrived. Mike Vrabel is one of the best coaching in football without question.
It's so crazy because I was sitting here like prepping. Like I was like, well, we're going to make quick do with the AFC East because like there's 2 good teams on here. I think I knew you were probably going to agree with me on that. I didn't think it was I didn't think it was going to take the show hostage. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, they're my number 2 seed in the NFC.
I fucking love it. Well, we're actually going to transition to another division, believe it or not. If you guys have more thoughts on that, please give them. Because Trevor, I'm telling you, bro, you're not even like getting cooked necessarily in the chat. It's just you got everyone's attention on that, bro. It's blowing up.
Honestly, I do not give a fuck. I don't care what anybody says.
That's what I say, guys.
My opinion,
he means that.
My opinions are bullshit, baby. I'm 10 toes down. I don't give a damn.
Oh, standing on the business, if you will.
I don't give a damn.
All right, so we're going to get to the AFC North, and I'm sure that there's going to be no sense of disappointment in this one because this is also one of the most... It's something about the North divisions, dude. They're so deep or they're so controversial. Yeah, I don't think so this year. I don't think the AFC North is that intriguing this year. I'm going to be totally real with you guys. I think the Browns are going to be absolute cheeks. I think Kevin Stefanski is another coach that loses his job this year. Maybe not so much his fault. He is a 2-time coach of the year, which makes it ironic also. But I think that they've really dug themselves in a real hole because while they're dealing with a 40-year-old quarterback starting, they take Shedeur Sanders in round 5. I'm actually a Shedeur guy, but it became more of a circus than about the actual player, so it's a distraction at this point. They pay Myles Garrett an incredible amount of money this offseason when he requested a trade. And, oh yeah, the creep is still there, making all his money, Deshaun Watson, who will not play football this year. There is too much ugliness around this team. I'll be shocked that they win in more than a handful of games this year, and I gave them credit with 5. I'm going to say they squeak out 5 victory this season, and I actually do have them splitting with the Bengals and the Steelers, believe it or not, because they actually play decent in their division. I will give Kevin Stefanski that. Yeah. So I do have them at 5-12, but there's really nothing of real note in that. They could be worse. They absolutely could be worse. Because Albert Brewer said they're staring at an 0-7 start.
This is why I like the Patriots schedule, guys.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right.
They're one of the victims.
Bad.
They're one of the victims.
The Bengals are going to miss the playoffs for a 3rd straight year. I'm going to say that right now. The Bengals are a team. You want to talk about the Browns? The only difference between the Browns and the Bengals right this second is Joe Burrow. I'm being dead serious, dude.
Only difference, bro?
No. I mean, obviously Myles Garrett's there. You know what I mean? So there is. I'm saying that the reason why the Bengals are a better team is only because of Joe Burrow. Because I think actually the Browns have a better head coach. I think Kevin Stefanski's a better coach than Zach Taylor.
I agree.
So that's what I'm saying. Like both these teams are ass.
Our guy in the chat. Demetrio Spence says, now Trevor has the Browns winning the AFC. Something's definitely in that copy.
Right? Oh, yeah. But we're going to drug test you if that fucking happens, dude. You fucking try to pull that shit.
No,
that's like a spoiler alert. Yeah.
Bro, that'd be wild.
But no, so the Bengals are a team to me that are so unbelievably top-heavy. And they're also an idiotic franchise because Joe Burrow, obviously you pay him. There's no question about that. You pay Joe Burrow. You obviously pay Jamar Chase. Why the fuck did you pay T. Higgins? T. Higgins is good. I love me some T. Higgins.
Yeah.
You don't pay T. Higgins when you're paying Jamar Chase $40 million a year.
Yep.
You have to spread that money out accordingly.
That's only if you're like Super Bowl caliber team.
Yes, and I'm not done.
You're not.
And I'm not done with this because they also made the worst decision in the world with Trey Hendrickson. Dude, you either pay the man long term or you trade him.
Honestly,
what you don't do is give him a $14 million raise and let him become a free agent after this year. That is the dumbest decision they could have made.
I feel like Trey should have played hardball and could have got more out of the deal.
Yes,
in my opinion.
100%.
He could have played hard on this.
He should have got himself traded.
Yeah,
because this team is going to be balls this year, dude. They're going to be terrible. Their defense is going to be maybe even worse than it was last year because we don't even know who their DC is. At least we knew who Lou Anarumo was.
They're making moves like they're paying guys and making these decisions like they're like a Super Bowl caliber team. They're not.
Right.
You guys missed the playoffs.
They're writing off that 2021 freak of nature, fluky fucking meltdown the Chiefs had in the AFC Championship. That was more about the Chiefs than it was about the Bengals. Yeah. This team is going to score points, but do we know, Trevor, can we say with all certainty, they're going to score like they did last year? The same year they missed the playoffs? Can we say they're going to replicate that? Because, dude, they're one T. Higgins injury away from being just Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow with Trey Hendrickson on the other side. And everybody talks about Trey Hendrickson, who I love as well. He's led the league in sacks the last 2 years, and they missed the playoffs both years. Why am I supposed to sit here and believe this team's better than they were last year? I don't think they're going to be. In fact, I think they're going to regress because replicating what they did last year positively is going to be so damn challenging because you got to expect that T. Higgins is going to stay healthy. And can you honestly say right now, Trevor, he's going to play more than 14 games this year? I don't think he does. He always has a nagging hamstring, shoulder, whatever it is. He's going to miss 3 to 5 games this year. And with that comes the pressure of, well, Joe and Jamar better put up a bunch of fucking yards and touchdowns. Everybody knows that's coming. That doesn't change. So I look at this team and I say, how do they get better? They didn't. And the pressure's only gotten worse. They're a 7-10 team. The Bengals will go 7-10 this year. And look at it like this, real quick before
last year.
Yes, and here's another reason why I have this to back it up. Look at this schedule, real quick, Trevor. I'm going to put this out here. I think they have 2 losing streaks of at least 4 games. 2 different losing streaks. Here's why. Look at this: at Vikings, at Broncos, Lions, at Packers. Then they have at the Steelers, obviously, Patriots. You like them a little bit. At Ravens, at Bills. Then they have the Ravens in town, obviously, because they're a divisional team. So that could be a 5-game losing streak right there. Because that's literally a streak of games. Sure, listen to this one more time. This is a streak of games. At Broncos, Lions, at Packers, at Steelers, Patriots, at Ravens, at Bills, then back to the Ravens. How many of those games would you pick the Bengals? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a very... Dude, losses start to stack up for this team real quick. They have a tough schedule and an insanely thin team.
Yeah.
And a coach that is on the hot seat. I do not like the Bengals at all this year, dude. 7-10, mark my words. Now, I also don't really like this team either. But just by default, they're going to be better. They have a better coach. I think they have a much better defense, without question. And they have some really good skill position players around a very old quarterback who was once one of the best of all time. And that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are a 10-win team by default. Because Mike Tomlin, to his credit, always wins more games than he loses in the regular season. I will give him that as long as he keeps doing it. And yes, they did upgrade at quarterback technically. Because Aaron Rodgers is historically better than Russell Wilson. But you and I did talk about this one little thing. Would it shock you if you look at Rodgers' season this year and say, oh, his numbers look identical to Russell's last season? Like, there is a really good chance that happens, where he throws for 3,600 yards, 22 touchdowns, 9-10 picks, and he's just, he's Alex Smith. You know what I mean? Like, he's just whatever. Just good enough to get them into the playoffs. I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Steelers are going to be one of those just good, solid, playoff-esque teams that squeak in, and I have them as the 6th seed in the AFC. Make no mistake about it, the Ravens are the absolute class of this division, and it's not even remotely close. This team is loaded. This team is going to be scary, and they're probably going to disappoint you like they always fucking do. But this is still, dude, prime Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry's still close to his prime. I don't know if he's still prime Derrick Henry, but he's still fucking close to it. You know I have an affinity for that man. Awesome offensive line, great head coach, awesome loaded defense, special teams are stupid awesome, and they, for whatever reason, never lose in the preseason. It's fucking hilarious. This is going to be a team that's very focused and helping on getting back to where they were 2 years ago in the AFC Championship. They lost a frustrating game to the Buffalo Bills. I think they want their revenge. I think they're helping on getting that revenge. I have the Ravens at 13-4 because I think they're going to go on a lot of winning streaks, like the Bengals go on losing streaks. They're going to be feasting on some bad teams in their schedule, and they got quite a few of them. They have 2 of them in their fucking division. I think they're going to eat on that as well. I think they split with the Steelers. I think they sweep the Bengals, and I think they sweep the Browns as well and go 13-4.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear this. Win 14 games.
I had the Browns winning 2 games.
Oh shit, they're right.
So I think the Browns are going to be absolutely awful. Their wide receiver 1 is it's who is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who is it? So I just don't. I don't. They're probably going to play 3 different quarterbacks throughout the season. This is a team that's in experimental mode. They're trying to figure things out. It's doom and gloom over there, man. There's nothing. They haven't even signed their number 1 their running back that they drafted. He's not even on the team yet. There's just so much bad. You're talking about bad vibes. I mean, there's just nothing over there that's worth even discussing. So I have them winning two games, going 2-15. I hate it. It's my guy Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
but I like the Steelers this year. I like the move. I like the DK Metcalf addition, the Jonnu Smith addition. This is such a tough division, man. These teams feast on each other every year. The Steelers are always a team too that they always find ways to win, at least 10 games. I have them going 10-7, but I have them 3rd in the division. There's always injuries on this defense. Yeah, and they always have depth issues. I just don't take them too seriously this year. As much as I love Aaron Rodgers, I was on the fence about making them playoff a team this year. And when I started going through the schedule and picking the games, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough too when you're trying to pick games with these new look teams. They have big changes, like whether quarterback or coordinator or head coach, whatever it is. The Steelers pretty consistently have a nucleus and a way about them that they continue to do, and I think Aaron Rodgers fits into that system pretty well. He's a guy that can play a great point guard position, just divvy out the ball and find ways to win games. Let that defense do what they do. It's just such a tough division, man. And I have them going 10-7 and missing the playoffs, unfortunately. which I could interchangeably with this next team in this division, but I had the Bengals at 11-6. I think there's no way possible the defense is as bad as it was last year. It was historically bad. It was right there with the Panthers as an all-time terrible defense, and they changed defensive coordinators. I just think Lou Anarumo, he lost the locker room. I think that defense was just completely out. They brought in some guys, nothing too crazy as to note. I think a new defensive scheme is going to be helpful. I think changing up the scheme defensively, I don't think they could be worse. I don't think they could possibly be worse than they were last year defensively. It was historically bad. They've got to be better than that. And I think that offense is going to be so good. I think that offense is going to be incredible. As long as Joe Burrow stays healthy, that's arguably the best offense in football as far as points per game. Joe Burrow's numbers are probably going to be insane again. He's going to be an MVP candidate, in my opinion. And I do have them winning 11 games. I think their offense is going to be that good. I think their defense cannot be worse. I think their defense has to take a step forward this year. And I do think they are well coached. They've been well coached. Last year, I think was just so bad. I don't think they could go back to that. I don't think they can allow Joe Burrow to waste another season like that. I think they got to be better, and I'm banking on them being better this year. So I have them winning 11 games. The Ravens are easily the best team in this division, in my opinion. I have them going 13-4. Lamar Jackson is one of the best athletes we've ever seen live. One of the best quarterback talents as far as what he can do with his legs that we've ever seen. One of the best coaches in football. This defense roster is just nuts. These guys they just win games until it comes playoff time. But yeah, they win a lot of games. They're the best team in this. Like you said, they are the class of this division. I have them going 13-4 and easily winning this division. Yep.
All right. Well, man, holy shit. We definitely sold differently on the Bengals. Yeah, for sure. Let's get to the AFC South. This is what I call the melatonin of the AFC. You can just forget it even exists sometimes. You're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, I'm yawning now already. Yeah. So this division is going to be by far, in my opinion, the worst division in football, and I mean including the NFC South.
Yeah.
The AFC South is going to be really, really bad. It was really tough to pick out who was going to be the worst and who was going to be the best, to be honest with you guys. There's so many questions, and there's so much...
A lot of changes with that division.
I just don't like the vibes from any of these teams, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that there's a couple teams that could be on the up and up, but... You guys know I'm a big Anthony Richardson guy. I'm not giving up on him, but I think the Colts have. When you know your situation's really bad when you decide to keep Daniel Jones as not only your starting quarterback, but you announce him as a captain. Shit's not good.
Yeah.
And I think that Shane Steichen might be actually a coach that might be unsafe as well. And I mean, I'm even saying that there might be some fire sale going on with the Colts where they fire Chris Ballard.
Clean house.
It might even get worse than that. I have the Colts at 5-12. I think they have some winnable games in their division, but they're not going to beat any good teams this year because they have nothing at quarterback. They're going to be relying so heavily on Jonathan Taylor, who's become kind of an injury-prone back, who's awesome, but he gets hurt a lot. And I just feel like Pittman's just going to be out there running track because he ain't getting the ball like he should. And I think there's a lot of questions on the defensive side. I just don't get good vibes from this Colts team at all. I think they're going to finish last. And the Titans are not a good team, but I have a feeling that Cam Ward's going to shock some people. I think that Cam Ward's going to be actually pretty damn good.
One of the most underwhelming hype of a first round or first overall pick I think I've ever seen.
And it's also because of the fact of his demeanor. He has that Jalen Hurts about
Titans.
Him. But he has that demeanor though, that Jalen Hurts. I know I'm good, but I'm stoic. A very confident dude, but not flashy, not arrogant. You know what I mean? He hones it in pretty damn well. I'm a fan of the kid, and I think that he is the right quarterback for them moving forward. But this roster sucks.
Yeah.
They suck.
Their defense isn't going to be good either.
Yeah, but I because of the quarterback position alone, I'm giving him another win over the Colts. I think they go 6-11. But yes, they're just not a good team, and I just don't know if Brian Callahan's the guy. There's a lot of questions on that Titans team. This is where it gets really tricky, though. Because I actually have the Jaguars and Texans finishing with the exact same record. The Jaguars are a team that I feel has an identity, but doesn't at the same time, if that makes sense. We know that they are a Trevor Lawrence team. Like, we know that. Like, they want to, they've staked their flag. Trevor's our guy. We're not moving off. He's our dude. You know what I mean? That's an identity. But I also don't know what Trevor Lawrence is as a quarterback. So that kind of poses the question, but do they really have an identity? You know, it's a very
he has flashes
weird
of greatness.
He does,
yeah.
But then he gets hurt. Or he starts playing like shit, or both. Like, there's so much about Trevor Lawrence I feel like I still don't know. I feel like he's in that Jordan Love category as well. Like, what are you? Like, please show me and give me some finality of what you are as a quarterback. I still don't know what Trevor Lawrence is. I've seen him win a playoff game, and I've seen him also win 6-7 games. Like, that, I don't know. So I need him to show me. But because he also has a rookie head coach, who, albeit is an awesome OC, Duval.
I love it.
You know, I think it's funny. I like the kooky guys. You know, that's cool. But I think there's still so much left on the plate for them to get. I can't with any certainty give them the top spot of this division, but I do have them as a playoff team. I have them squeaking in at 9-8 and the 7 seed behind the Texans. And the reason I'm picking the Texans, and I'm not a fan of this team either, but the Texans have maybe the best defense in the league, in my opinion. Will Anderson might win Defensive Player of the Year. Stingley, it might be a top 3 corner in this league. They have awesome safeties. They have good linebackers. Like, this is a complete defense. Oh, and did I mention that DeMeco Ryans is a defensive genius? They have a defensive genius running the show. C.J. Stroud is also an awesome quarterback, but once again, he's in that Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, and Trevor Lawrence area of the rankings where it's like, okay, I saw you have an incredible rookie year, but then you really took a step back in your second year. You also have an injury-prone Nico Collins. You will not have your most electric player,
Lost Larry Tunsil. I mean,
no, the receiver, the small guy.
Tank Dell.
Thank you, Tank Dell.
I mean,
he might retire. He's
got Nico Collins, who's in the league.
But I was saying, he's injury prone though. He gets a lot of injuries, like T. Higgins.
That's about it.
Hamstrings and shit like that.
You lost your left tackle.
Joe Mixon's going to probably miss the first 2 months of the season.
I think he doesn't play this year.
Yeah, their offensive line is atrocious, and they traded Larry Tunsil to get Cam Robinson. Like, Cam's fine, but you traded Larry Tunsil to get Cam Robinson. What the hell was that? Like, it made no sense. This team's weird, but again, they have the best quarterback and best coach, in my opinion, of the division, which is why I'm going to give them the squeak out and win the division at 9-8. But I don't feel good about any of these teams.
This is the worst division of football.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's the 2 South divisions on both sides here, but the Colts are going to rival the Saints for the number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
They're going to have the same record. 1-16.
Ooh, okay.
The Colts are one of those teams I think the entire league is going to feast on.
You like both these teams, like I want Arch Manning kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because Peyton Manning played for the Colts.
Think about it.
Arch
Daniel
Manning.
Jones is not the answer.
Yeah.
I think they've already made it pretty clear that Anthony Richardson is not the answer. Teams are going to be simping for Arch Manning, right? So I think this is one of those teams. Them and the Saints are going to be battling for that first pick this year. I don't buy the Colts. And it's crazy because they have so much talent. Even on the defense, they got a lot of good players. I just don't buy it, man. I don't see them winning games. I just don't see them winning games. Situational football for Daniel Jones. Bro, Daniel Jones is terrible. Some of their players are going to have good numbers, like some of their offensive players. I think Tyler Warren, the tight end they drafted, is phenomenal. I think he's going to be one of the best tight ends of football for a long time. He is incredible. But he's on a terrible team with a terrible quarterback. He's probably going to get a bunch of catches, and I think Jonathan Taylor could definitely eat this year. Have a really good year. Their O-line is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So they have good things going for them, but as far as like getting W's and their schedule is their schedule's not great. So I think they're going to struggle against a lot of these other teams they face. I have them winning 1 game. It's probably not going to happen. They'll probably win at least 3 or 4, but picking these games, I just couldn't find ways to keep clicking on them in any situation. So I think the Colts are going to suck. I think they're going to try to get that quarterback next year. The Titans, I don't think much of either, man. I think there's a lot of just not much noise at all. Coming out, like not much excitement. I mean, I like Tony Pollard as a good running back. I'm a big Calvin Ridley fan, but Calvin Ridley's always underwhelmed.
Right.
Every year, outside of 1 year alongside Julio Jones, he's been good.
Right.
I like him. I support him. I want him to be good, but he's yet to prove that he can be that dude. And now he's getting older, and now I'm expecting him to be like that dude now, like with a rookie quarterback. I don't trust the coaches over there yet. I don't know what's going on over there. I just don't have any. I have them going 3-14, dude. Like I just don't see them winning much games. Like this can be a lot of growing pains. I think Ward could be a dude for sure. I think he could be a really good quarterback in this league.
Yeah,
but not this year. I don't think he bursts onto the scene like we've seen like Jaden Daniels and Stroud and guys like that burst onto the scene. It's just not the right setting in place yet. Don't have much faith in them. I have the Texans in the second spot. I think their defense is really good, but I have a lot of questions. They made some changes that were kind of bewildering to me.
Yeah.
I feel like they got worse this offseason. And you could talk about, DeMeco Ryans being this defensive guru, but we've seen it time and time again where the first year defensive minded coaches come in and they have a good first season and they turn some things around, but then it starts to fizzle out pretty quickly.
Right.
Because they don't pick it up and they on the opposite side, and you got to score points to be successful in this league. And I understand their defense is awesome. They have a lot of talent on that, but I think their offensive line is going to be bad again. They have zero run game. Now you're depending on Nico Collins and Stroud to get it done week in and week out. And, I just don't, on the offense, who else they got? Schultz at tight end? There's not much here for me, man. I don't think it's going to contribute to a lot of wins. I have them going 8-9. I don't like them this year. I
only have one more game.
They're missing the playoffs. I don't like them this year. I think they got a lot of things to figure out, and they didn't do enough this offseason to really convince me. I like the Jags this year, dude. I like Liam Cohen. I like what he did for Baker Mayfield. He gave Baker Mayfield a career year last year. And it's a similar offense. You have a similar quarterback, has a lot to prove. Baker Mayfield had a lot of things to prove last year, and he did it. And that was under the tutelage of Liam Cohen. Granted, he was the OC, not the head coach. But I love what they did. They getting Travis Hunter to be primarily their slot receiver, and you have an absolute alpha at your X receiver, and Brian Thomas Jr. Similar, he can play that Mike Evans role. And you got Travis Hunter who can play that Godwin role. And they have a good running game too. They have a deep running back room, a decent offensive line that's getting better in my opinion. The defense needs some work. I don't trust that defense at all.
No, they're terrible.
But it's a similar thing to the Bucs last year. Their defense was good, but it wasn't even nearly great in my opinion. They have some good players, just like the Jags have some good players on that defense. But can they come together as a unit? I think so. I think they win 11 games. I like the Jags. I think the offense is going to be so good. I have them going 11-6 and winning this division.
11-6. Wow.
And Trevor Lawrence has his best year as a pro.
All right. Yeah, man. We're there's some things that I'm definitely seeing differently, but yeah, I can understand why. Because if the coach does his thing where he takes, if Cohen goes,
you want to talk about
head coach when he was the OC.
You talk about vibes.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's had great vibes all offseason.
You're not hearing anything controversial.
And Travis Hunter, they got one of the best, maybe the best football player in the draft in Travis Hunter.
That is true.
You know what I mean? A guy that's going to be a game changer for both sides of the ball. And Brian Thomas Jr. year 2. Yeah, strap in, baby. I think that dude's going to ball out this year.
Well, we are now at the final portion of the division predictions, and it's the one I know that a lot of you guys were waiting for all day long, and it is the AFC West. And the reason we saved this for last mostly is because we know that a lot of you guys are Chiefs fans, and we want to keep you around. But
I like to edge a little.
There's also, yeah, exactly. But not a fan myself, but I understand. There's been so much conversation this offseason, man, about this division in particular. And I'm gonna Trevor knows that I'm a fan of the greenery. There's no mystery to that. And there's a certain
we're not low.
There's a certain we can't pull over anymore. I'm freaking out, man. No, there's a 3-letter familiar. There's a familiar 3-letter phrase that people know called CBD. CBD. Nate Diaz. CBD. A lot of people know what that is, but it's going to mean something differently here in a minute. And that's the phrase I've been using secretly, and I haven't really said it to anybody else. But it's CBD, and I'm gonna explain why in just a second. We know that there's been a lot of hype in this division because of the insane. I would say just talent overall and legendary talent at coaching in this division. We see that this is probably the deepest coach division in the history of the NFL. I think that's almost safe to say. When you have Andy Reid, Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh, and Sean Payton in the same division, that almost feels ridiculously unfair.
Yeah.
Because most divisions only have 1 or 2 coaches that are even remotely good to begin with, let alone Hall of Famers. So that is a real challenge. But as I've said on this show, and I'll say it again, what Andy Reid is doing the other three tried to do years ago, or maybe were able to do years ago. Sean Payton won his only Super Bowl over 15 years ago. Pete Carroll won his Super Bowl 12 years ago. Jim Harbaugh never won a Super Bowl, but got to one. Andy Reid has won 3 in the last 5 years. There's a difference there. The Chargers are a team that are led by Jim Harbaugh, a head coach that's coming off a national championship, a lot of sanctions, I might add, but they're champions. And he wanted to take a stab at head coaching in the NFL, and he decided to take the LA job, because they had Justin Herbert in tow, good roster, makes sense. They come in last season and they feast on a really easy ass schedule because they had the last place schedule, and they feasted. They had the number 1 ranked defense in a lot of different metrics, and Justin Herbert was kind of concealed. They ran a Greg Roman style of offense. They're going to do that again this year. Dealt with injuries, went to the playoffs, shit the bed. This year, the Chargers had even more hype, and people were picking them to win the division again, and it's the annual Chargers triumphant run that everyone's talking about. And then Rashawn Slater goes down with a patellar tendon injury. And that was the end of it for me. That's all I needed to see. The Chargers are going to finish last place in the AFC West. Justin Herbert is not an elite quarterback. He's an elite talent. But there is a difference, and I've been telling you guys this now for 4 years. People laughed at me, mocked me, said all the shit. How's that going? Because he had 3 interceptions last year and 4 in 1 playoff game, I believe. Justin Herbert continues to show, and there's a reason why Jim Harbaugh is taking the ball out of his hands and running the ball more, because they know that if they keep throwing the ball like he was, they're going to continue to be a team that doesn't make the playoffs or continues to fall short. So this is the best bet they have. And this is why I've been theorizing that Jim Harbaugh might move off of Justin Herbert, or maybe retires, because he's going to realize, I can't win with this guy. And I'm being dead serious when I say that. I don't think he ever wins a damn thing with Justin Herbert. They're going to go 8-9 this season. And I think that they're going to be a good but not great team once again, because Jim Harbaugh is an awesome coach. He will have this team mentally and emotionally and physically prepared every single game, but they are once again going to be a team that falls short because they continue to have injury problems, and they have a quarterback that continues to shrink in any moment that is even remotely seismic, even remotely big. Whenever the pressure is there, Justin Herbert fills his diaper. And I do not believe in the guy, and I have no reason to believe in him. He's never proven to me anything, and it was so prophetic when Patrick Mahomes said on that golf course years ago, I'll believe it when I see it. Or I'll see it when I believe it, however he said it. But it's been true ever since. Yeah, they've made the playoffs a couple times, and they've had 2 of the biggest choke jobs in the history of the sport. So congratulations to them, but congratulations to them again, because the Chargers will finish last in this division. My guy Nick Wright, I love him dearly, and I think that he makes a lot of great points. He's one of the most well-thought and well-analyzed men out there when it comes to the world of sports and being able to break things down and make. I've always respected people that can that come out with a take that you can't refute, and Nick does that a lot. But he also has really bad takes sometimes, and having the Raiders as a playoff team is one of them, because the Raiders are not a playoff team. I think Pete Carroll gives them a lot of hope and a lot of, I think he pushes them in the right direction. But Pete Carroll is also 73 years old, has been out of coaching now for, 3 years, and they have a 34-year-old Geno Smith as their quarterback, who, albeit, is an upgrade, and I am a big Geno guy. But Geno is not a guy that's going to come into a franchise like this and take them to that next level where they're all of a sudden they're a 10 to 12 win team. That's just not how this is going to go. Not to mention the fact that outside of Max Crosby, they don't have a lot going on the defensive side. They don't have a lot that's going to be a wow factor or an X factor to win big games and big moments and big times. They will be coached better than they've been in many years. I will say that. Pete Carroll will always do that because he's such a player's coach. They rally around him. Everywhere he's been, the players love him. So there's going to be good vibes around this Raiders team. The problem is, outside of Brock Bowers, who the fuck is Geno Smith throwing to? A 32-year-old Amari Cooper? Because Jacoby Myers wants to get traded. He wants out. There's a reason for that. This team as a whole, as a collective, is just not good enough. I think, like I said, Pete's going to coach the shit out of them, and he's going to try to push them in the right direction, But this team just lacks real talent across the board. So that's why I have the Raiders going 8-9 as well and finishing third because I think they'll have a better record in conference and in division. Man, Trevor, I don't know if you heard, but that Broncos team sure is scary, dude. I mean, given the fact that, they didn't beat any true playoff teams outside of like week 3 against the Buccaneers.
They're the new Chargers now.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but yeah, they are going to be the next dynasty. Yeah. They're going to beat the shit out of the Chiefs. Don't consider the fact they lost by like 40 fucking points to the one true playoff team they faced late in the season against the Bills. You know what mattered the most? And they got beat by like 40 points. Let's ignore that part. That's not important. The Broncos are scary, Trevor. They're scary. Bo Nix, he 39-year-old rookie. He's a scary guy, dude. And Sean Payton, like I said, who hasn't won a playoff game or a Super Bowl since, like the iPhone 2 was out. Scary, okay? That team is scary. I'm not so scared of the Broncos, dude. I respect them for what they did last season, but much like the Chargers, they were a team that feasted on the opportunity. They had a very weak schedule, and whenever they faced good quarterbacks, whenever they faced good teams, they lost. I have no reason to believe this Broncos team's all of a sudden just going to take the next step and become a 13, 14-win team that's going to roll in this division, take it from the Chiefs' hands. I have no reason to believe that. They have a good coach, just like the previous two teams I just named. They have a quarterback that's got promise, but now the NFL's got film on him. Let's see how he reacts to that with an ass wide receiver room outside of Courtland Sutton, who gets hurt 8 times a year. They have a decent run game. They got a good offensive line. They got a badass in Bitonio on the defensive side. Bitonio.
Yeah.
Or how do you say his name?
Pantoja?
No, but the pass rusher. Is it Bitonio?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that might be an offensive line.
I know what you're talking about.
But you know what I'm talking about. Like
they need to.
Patrick. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. They have a Patrick Surtain, who's one of the best corners in the league. They got a solid defense. But again, this defense was feeding on the bottom barrel of the league every week. There's no coincidence. You better look freaking good against those teams. But why was it looking so much differently when they would face awesome offenses? Why was it so different? It's because they weren't as good as they looked, and it showed in the playoffs. Yes, Buffalo's a tough place to win, but getting beat by 4 touchdowns? However, I think it was more than that. It was like 5 touchdowns. It was like 5 fucking touchdowns. They got destroyed. And then Sean Payton wants to have the fucking nerve of saying, well, we felt really good about the Chiefs that next week we'd won. You didn't even come close to winning. How are you going to sit here talking about the Chiefs? How about you talk about the Bills?
And then we beat the Bills.
And then you beat the Bills. So, Jesus Christ, what the fuck are you talking about, Sean? I feel like this is a hold to sell segment.
Yeah.
The fact is, the Broncos are not the team that everyone thinks they are. I do think they're a 9-win team, but I don't think they're a playoff team. I think they're a team, like I said, that feasted off what they had in front of them last year, but now that there's expectation, now that there's film, and now that they have a real schedule on their hands, this team is going to go back to earth where they belong. They are a 9-8 team, and they have them missing the playoffs, which leaves one and only team that I have left to talk about. It's a team that for some damn reason just keeps doing this whole winning thing. The margins weren't great last year. And what the fuck is wrong with Patrick Mahomes? Why can't he just be this guy that throws 50 touchdowns a season?
Games.
Why can't he just, he's clutch as fuck and, had 7 game-winning drives and 5 fourth-quarter comebacks. But who gives a shit about the clutch shit? Why wasn't he throwing for 50 touchdowns last season? Sure, Trevor. Rashee Rice got hurt in the first month and Pacheco missed 10 games. Hollywood Brown missed 15 games. He didn't have a fucking left tackle. In fact, he had 4 different guys in a rotation. They had to move Joe Tooney over there. Despite all that shit, why wasn't Patrick the Patrick we love? Why wasn't he the great quarterback? Is something wrong with him? Is he not as good as he once was, Trevor? Or maybe was it the fact that it was a circumstance that he had to overcome? And guess what he did, folks? He overcame it. They went to the fucking Super Bowl still. They did what they had to do last year. They went 15-2, a franchise best record, despite all the issues they had on both sides of the ball. Despite all the pressure of being the first team that could potentially three-peat, they still got to the dance. Now, they got outdanced. They got their cheeks clapped.
Yeah.
That team was worthy. That Eagles team was worthy and deserved being champions.
Yeah,
and I tip my cap to them.
Taken home that night.
Oh, absolutely. And did not enjoy what took place that night. But the point is, they were fucking there. Yeah. They represented the AFC. And guess what happened this offseason, Trevor? The Chiefs got better. Significantly better.
How did we get better, Lance?
Well, I'll explain it to you real quick. So the Chiefs actually have a left tackle now. Wild how that works. They haven't had a left tackle since 2022, and even he was about as average as it gets. Now they got themselves a real dog. a dude by the name of Josh Simmons. And they have depth at tackle, by the way, because they already had the right tackle solidified. Now they got Jalen Moore that can play swing tackle if they need to. They have a very solid, and dare I say, elite front with Creed Humphrey and now Trey Smith, and Kingsley is showing that he's got the truth in him. He looks like he's the real deal, and I can't wait to see my boy Kingsley do what he does. Oh, and did I mention, Trevor, that Rashee Rice, after his suspension, is going to be fully healthy? They also have Xavier Worthy in year 2. Travis Kelce's in the best shape of his life. It still looks like a great tight end. Then you have Hollywood Brown, who's going to actually be healthy coming in week 1. They have a healthy Isaiah Pacheco, a healthy Kareem Hunt, who won't be on his ass in week 2, calling or texting Andy Reid asking for a job. He's already here. Oh, and they got Rashad Smith, who looks like an absolute monster in the passing game. The Chiefs were literally dialing up plays for him in the first-team reps against the Bears in Week 3 of the preseason. Oh, and did I mention this Chiefs team still has an elite defense? A defense led by Chris Jones, who's a first-ballot Hall of Famer, still in the prime of his career. You got Trent McDuffie. I know people think I hate him. He's fucking great. They also have added Christian Fulton. They have Drew Tranquil still. They got Nick Bolton on a long-term deal. They got Giorgio Karlaftis over there on a long-term deal. They added Ashton Gelati. They added my boy Noel Williams. They got one of the best safety groups in the league, in my opinion, with Jaden Hicks, with Jamari Connor, with dogs like that. Oh, and Steve Spagnuolo's still there. Remember we were talking about the offensive defensive coordinators? The Chiefs still have their same guys.
Continuity, baby.
And they got Dave Merritt still. They still have all the pieces in place to be the team they've been, if not better. And that's why the Chiefs are going 14-3 this year, and will have the number 1 seed in the AFC.
14-3, just like the Patriots. No. Listen, man, this division, this is probably the easiest one to talk about, as far as we already know the results of the top dog. There's some interchangeable teams here, though. I think there's been, for over the last several years, there's been so much hype behind the Chargers always being the darling in the offseason. Now it's turned into the Broncos. And for some reason, people are getting bored now, and they want to hype up the Raiders for some goddamn reason. I would love an explanation to why the addition of Geno Smith just makes them all of a sudden a play. I don't understand the playoff team thing. I don't understand why we think they're going to be good all of a sudden. They still don't have a good offensive line. Their defense is still shit. Now they have an old, good coach, really one of the great coaches, but very old. Geno Smith is also an aging quarterback who never really wins much. He's good enough to become maybe a playoff team with some of the teams he's been on, but let's be very honest, he's a stopgap quarterback. To be very honest, I like Geno, but he's a stopgap quarterback. He's not their guy. They have no one to throw to other than their tight end.
Right.
And they drafted a top-notch running back who could be good behind a bad O-line.
Yep.
The Raiders are going to suck. I do not understand and see what anyone is talking about here. I don't understand it. Their defense. I have them going 5-12. I don't get the hype. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why are we making the rate all of a sudden? They've been a laughing stock for a decade plus. And now they got Geno Smith. That's really the only thing that changed for me outside of last season.
Well, Pete Carroll, having Pete Carroll's a big thing.
I get that, but talent matters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This team is depleted of it. And they have one of the best pass rushers, I'll give him that, but he's been there for a while now.
Yep.
They continue to be the worst team in this division for years now. Max Crosby's been the story for them outside of Brock Bowers last year, but Max Crosby's the only thing that's exciting out of them for years now. I don't get it. They're going to be 5-12, maybe worse. I think they're going to suck. I don't understand it. Next, I have the Broncos. I have them going 7-12. I'm not buying. Dude, spare me.
7-10, yeah.
7-10.
Yeah.
I'm not buying.
Oh.
This is a team, like you said, they won against a lot of bad teams. They front run some. I like Bo Nix. I think he's fun to watch. I think he's an exciting player. I think he's a really, really, really good athlete. I'm just not buying it. I don't think they're offensive weapons. I mean, I like the audition of R.J. Harvey. I think that was a good draft pick. I think he fits the scheme for what they want to do there as far as passing and running through the air. Is what Sean Payton's done a lot through his career with his running backs. I don't think they've established themselves as a winning team. I know their record may say otherwise. They made the playoffs last year. I get that. I'm not buying it this year. I think they take a step back this season. I think it's some growing pains for Bo Nix here.
Can I add one thing to that real quick? Because I saw in the chat, people were talking about the additions the Broncos had and why that's going to make them a better team.
Yeah.
Colin Cowherd said a couple weeks ago that first of all, he called these guys elite players. He called Evan Ingram, Hufanga, and Greenlaw elite players, and they were additions. Do you know, Trevor, that over the last 2 seasons, those 3 players have combined missed 44 games. 44 games.
Yeah. I don't care.
Sorry.
None of it matters to me.
Yeah.
None of that matters to me. They've had great defensive players across their defenses for years. Don't care. I do not care. And the fact that they announced their number 2 receiver, I'm drawing a blank on his name now for some reason. The little guy, Marvin Mims,
yeah.
already hurt. He just pulled it.
He's not even that good.
He's a gadgety guy.
Yeah.
Good. He's a good returner. One of the best returners in football. I'll give him that. He's their number 2 receiver. And then they traded away their other guy. I can't remember his name. But they traded him away to I forget. They traded away one that was supposed to be their number 2 receiver. They traded him away. I just listen.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
27-year-old that they got in like the 7th round. Yeah,
right. Yeah, he was a solid player. I actually thought he was going to be pretty good for them this year if he stayed healthy. But like you said, Courtland Sutton can't stay healthy. Solid when he's healthy. But is this a team that if they're trailing, do you expect them to come back and win any kind of game in a situational football situation? I just don't buy it, man. I'm not. I think they were exciting last year because they were competing with the division with us. They had some tight games with us. Not going to happen this year. That's not happening. The Chiefs are better this year. They're not going to have these games. Are not all these one-score games everyone wants to talk about how that can come back and haunt the Chiefs. No, we're going to win those games by more now. Yeah. That's how this works. We're better than everybody here. They're not going to have the honors of being competitive with the Chiefs this year. That's not happening.
And we know it.
And the Chargers are better than them, in my opinion. Because the Chargers are better than them damn near every facet of the game. I understand Slater going down is massive. That's still a very deep and good offensive line. Herbert is leaps and bounds better than Bo Nix. The playoffs, we could talk about that. He's shit in the playoffs. That's a whole different thing. Talent, he's one of the best, most talented quarterbacks in this game. I'm not a big Herbert guy, but I don't deny what my eyeballs see on a weekly basis. The dude has one of the best arms in football, and is one of the he's led by one of the best coaches in football, and drafted one of the best running backs in football behind a good O-line still. Yeah. Omarion Hampton is going to be a dog this year. I fully believe it, and they have just depth all the way around, in my opinion. Ladd McConkey, year 2, with Keenan Allen, that's a good wide receiver room, man. And you got the guy who was one of the best, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm not glazing over Herbert here, but he's one of the best anticipatory throwers in football. The dude throws guys open all the time, and he's really good. And this defense, I think, is still fairly good. I know they struggled at times. I still think they are the second best team in this division over the Broncos. I still got to see it out of the Broncos. They were the fun flash in the pan team last year, and they still got a solid defense no matter what. I don't care. I still think the Chargers are the second best team in this division.
And didn't just the Broncos side of things? Didn't they also? Isn't Garrett Bowles hurt too?
Dude, there's so much. I mean, we can talk about all the. I just don't care. The leadership of this team, I'm not buying them this year.
Yeah,
this always happens, right? It's happened over and over again with the Chargers. People are talking about they're the darling. They could possibly win this division. Now it's the Broncos. They can possibly win this. Now they're a Super Bowl favorite to some people. Fuck out! Yeah. I don't get it. Why do we do this? And it's always. It's so funny too because these Super Bowl contenders are always coming out. These division winners are always coming out when it's the AFC West. It's always the discussion within the AFC. Who's going to dethrone the Chiefs? Nobody, man. Right. Nobody. This is the easiest division to pick.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this every year? Why are we trying to find who's going to be the second best team in this division? And it's a narrative.
It's clearly boredom. It's got to be it, dude. Because I actually consume these shows.
The only reason I understand is because the great coaches that are in this division. There's four Hall of Fame coaches.
And that's why I started my entire take by saying that. Like, I'm paying respect to these dudes, but what they've once done or tried to do, Andy's been doing.
Right.
And he's got the best quarterback.
I have the Chargers going 10-7, so I'll give them respect. I think the Chargers are going to be a good team this year. I do. Yeah. I think the battles between us have been going on for years. Last year with the Broncos, those were more fluky battle games because we were so depleted. Situationally, it was tough. When we won the games by a blocked field goal on one of them, I get it. We still won. But, it doesn't matter.
Right.
That situation, these matchups are going to be different.
I love how people bring up the block field goal as if that's not an NFL play. Like, they act like it's something that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Like, it's a football play because the kicker has to make the kick, right? Mm. And if the kicker makes it, that's a good play, right? Okay, so if the defense or the special teams defense makes a play, that's a part of the game. So it's just as legitimate as someone making a field goal, right?
Yeah.
It's an even playing field. Like, I hate the fact that people use that against the Chiefs. Leo Chanel made a play.
Yeah.
What's so wrong about that? Like, it's no different than if Leo Chanel would have sacked Bo Nix and got a fumble recovery. Is it not the same thing? Like, it is an NFL play that counts against whether you win or you lose.
For me,
did we like it, Trevor? Because it was a neck and neck game that the Chiefs probably should have lost.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
But it was a win.
And I said, the narrative, I love that the narrative has become that the Chiefs are more likely to lose those closer games again this year if we have, instead of the Chiefs just continuing to be what we've done and winning those games by even more points this time.
I have the stat I'm going to show you. Keep talking.
You're telling me if we face those these divisional teams again in the same amount of times a year, last year we were uncomfortably close with the Chargers and the Broncos several times. Both times we faced them, they were pretty close games. The Chiefs got better, and now we think that we're going to lose those games to those teams now? That makes no sense to me, bro.
Right.
All that is wishful thinking for the opposition. This is what the opposition is hoping happens. Although everyone's ignoring that the Chiefs just got better, and we have a solidified left tackle now, and we got better. We're getting Rashee Rice back. Like, it honestly, dude, the narrative is just so counterintuitive.
It is.
And I don't understand the fact that the Chiefs eked out some close games. Now, this year, if those games are close again, we're losing those instead of winning them by actually more points this time, like we've done all the seasons prior. You know, right. Like we've won. It was uncomfortable last year, yes, but the years prior, they weren't uncomfortable. Outside of us letting these teams win, and when it came to like letting in Week 18 games when they don't matter, we let the Broncos win or we let the Chargers win in those weeks. Those are the only times these teams really get us.
Right.
So for me, bro, when it comes down to this division, let's say all things being equal, with the head coaches in this division, I just think the Chargers have the best roster, and they've proven it to be basically a perennial playoff team when they're all healthy.
Right.
So I do give my respect to Harbaugh and this Chargers team. I think their roster is really good. I think Ladd McConkey's a really good receiver. I think Keenan Allen still has juice, and he's playing with a quarterback that he had some of his best years with. I still think that that's something that means something to me. I think Omarion Hampton was a great running back pick for them, for a team that wants to run the ball a lot. Right. And I still think that internal offensive line is still great.
Yeah.
That's a really good offensive line. I know the left tackle could be iffy, but I still think that this Chargers team is going to be really good.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring this up because you were talking about that with the one possession games. I posted this just 3 days ago because that's the narrative I keep hearing on the TV about the Chiefs went undefeated in one possession games last season. That won't be the case this season. And my whole pushback is why?
Yeah,
because as I last checked, Trevor, since 2022, postseason included, the Chiefs are 31-8 in one possession games and have won their last 16 one possession games.
Right.
So if we're actually going off of what we assume,
you're denying math.
Yes.
You're denying
the math shows that they actually will continue that. Because, again, if we all can acknowledge the Chiefs got better as a nucleus this offseason and we're still doing this as a inferior team, why would it get worse now? And the only way it happens record-wise is if they just have fewer close games. That's the only way that happens. So, yeah, that narrative is complete bunk, man, and I can't get with it at all, and I'm so excited to get some of this stuff off my chest because I've been waiting for months now to talk about this shit.
Yeah.
Because I've just been listening to this bullshit rhetoric all offseason. No matter what the Chiefs do, it's never fucking enough, dude. They'll always find a way to diminish or discredit what they are and what they still are becoming. So, my 7 playoff teams in the AFC goes as follows. Top to bottom.
Well, I didn't really get to my Chiefs point. I didn't want to say too much.
Sorry.
No. I just. You had the Chiefs at 14-3. That's where I had the Patriots. I have the Chiefs at 15-2. So I'll.
Oh shit! Repeat of the 15. Okay.
I think we're going to be a better team this year.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are going to be incredible this year, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely. I agree.
I got nothing else to add to that.
The only reason, and this is funny because the only reason I didn't have us as 15-2, the Chiefs at 15-2 again, is because I think they lose that Week 18 game to the Raiders. Nick Wright said something so funny. He goes, if you're a team in the AFC West, you got to hope that you get that Week 18 game against the Chiefs every year because that's almost an automatic.
That's one of my
win.
losses too. But we're 15-1. We're 15-1 going into the game.
I love it. I love it, man. That's awesome. So, one top to bottom, my AFC playoff picture is the Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Texans, Patriots, Steelers, Jaguars. Trevor, who do you got?
So, 1 seed Chiefs, obviously. 2 seed Patriots. Then they got the Ravens, Jaguars, Bills are the 5th seed. God, I love it. It's fun to look at. Hopefully it happens. 6 seed Bengals, and then the 7 seed Chargers.
All right. That's our playoff season. We'd love to hear from you guys on that one as well. So let's get right to it, Trevor, on our NFC playoff predictions. I'm going to start with the wild card, okay? So then I'll get my 3 matchups and my predictions of those 3, and then you go after me. So my wild card, I have the Vikings beating the 49ers. I have the Rams beating the Eagles. And I have the Packers beating the Commanders. That's the upset because the Packers would be my 5 seed beating the 4 seed in Washington.
Yeah.
So I have the Packers advancing over the Commanders.
So my wild card matchups: the Vikings are beating the number 5 seed Vikings are beating the 4 seed Buccaneers round 1, and then I have the Rams beating the 49ers, and then I have Washington beating the Eagles.
I like it. Okay, those are bands. Okay, I like it. Yeah. The divisional round. I have the Bucks winning because they're the 1 seed, so they have the buy-in, the wild card. I have the Bucks beating the Packers in Tampa.
Oof.
The Vikings beating the Rams in Minnesota.
You're high on the Bucks, dude.
Yes, I am, dude. I like them a lot. I could be wrong about the Packers, though, because like I said, if Jordan Love shines this year,
he will be. It's okay.
It's over. It's over. Like, seriously, they'll be a 14-win team. Like, seriously. So, yeah, but I have the Bucks right now beating the Packers and the Vikings at home with that skull chant, beating the Rams and ending their season.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
You have that same matchup there.
Yep.
Except I have the Rams beating the Vikings.
Yeah.
And then I have the
Packers. You have it in LA, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The home team. I love the Rams this year, dude.
I do too.
If they healthy, I just don't.
It was so hard to pick against them. I'm like,
it's scary though with Stafford's
like,
situation.
man.
It is scary with Stafford's situation. But if Stafford's healthy this year, they're going to be an absolute juggernaut.
I agree.
So I have the beating the Vikings, and I have Stafford's son in the new buck on the block over there with JJ McCarthy. And then I have the Packers, number 1 seed Packers, facing off against the 7 seed Washington Commanders. I had them winning.
Okay.
I had the Packers winning.
My NFC Championship. This is where the buck stops. Because I have the Vikings.
In the AFC Championship.
I have the Vikings representing the NFC by beating the Bucks in an NFC Championship. They will be celebrating, doing the skull chant as they get their Lombardi or their Lamar Hunt trophy.
That would be an awesome story.
Yeah, dude.
I would love to see the Vikings go. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
So my matchup in the NFC Championship game is the Rams and the Packers. Such an exciting matchup just to even think about. If all those teams are healthy and the McVay against the floor, dude, that would be so awesome. I had the Packers winning.
Okay.
Yep.
I figured you would once we got the Micah Parsons because that's what we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
When the news broke, you and I were at the gym together.
I have it on my screenshot.
No, I believed you.
I'll get out of the way now. It's fucking crazy, right? Because I'm not going to act like I just organically came up with this on my own. There's been rumors about Micah Parsons and the Packers. Even that podcast
we'll give
back
credit.
in the day.
Ricky Scoop said it.
Yeah.
Ricky Scoop said it first.
You probably can't see it. It's probably not very good on this camera. But I have a screenshot when I did my predictions on who's going to the Super Bowl. I had Packers going to the Super Bowl, and it says above in parentheses, especially if the Packers gets Parsons. So I had that prediction. That was built in. I was probably going to pick the Packers either way, so I'll just be honest with you. I was in on the Packers this year already. Because I like Kenny Clark, but now that he's out and they kind of basically replaced him with Parsons, it's that much more so. I'm doubling down even that much more so. So I already kind of had that built in. I know they were flirting with the Packers. That was already kind of a thing. They were one of my favorites to land Parsons if he does get traded. Granted, I still thought Parsons was going to be a Cowboy at the end of the day. But that just bolstered my pick with the Packers if they got Parsons, and that actually happened, and it's crazy. So,
well, I get it, man. And that was so funny. Like, we got the news because I was over there in the corner of the gym, and you were over by your phone real quick looking at something. You're like, dude, you're not going to believe this shit. And that's when you immediately told me, like, dude, I already had them there. It's funny as fuck, dude. All right, AFC playoff predictions. This is my wild card matchups. I have the Ravens beating the Jaguars. I have the Bills beating the Steelers. And I have the Patriots beating the Texans.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I love that we're on the Patriots, man.
Yeah,
I love
man.
it, dude.
Yep.
So I have the number 5 seed Bills going against the number 4 seed Jacksonville Jaguars. I had the Bills beating them, and then I had the Bengals going against the Ravens. That third matchup for them, and as far as the divisional foe, so that should be a good game. But I have obviously the Ravens beating them, to the better team.
Yeah.
And then I have the Patriots beating the Chargers.
Okay, that's a good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Divisional round. Chiefs off their bye. I have them beating the Patriots. We'll be at Arrowhead, obviously. And then I have, as I mentioned earlier, the Ravens being hell-bent on revenge. They beat the Bills in Baltimore. So Chiefs, Ravens will be the AFC Championship matchup.
So I have the good old rematch, baby. Run it back. Why not? Keep the tradition alive, dude. This is what we do. Although it's not going to be in the AFC Championship game, but I have the 1 seed Chiefs coming off their bye, beating the shit out of the Bills in that game. And then I also have that 3 seed, 2 seed matchup with the Ravens going to Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, whatever you want to call it now, to beat the Patriots.
Okay, I was like, whoa.
No, the Ravens are going to beat the Patriots. Yeah. That's where it stops. But hey, it's a fun year for Patriots. So Patriots fans,
You think it's in the divisional round?
don't tell me I didn't tell you so.
So, AFC Championship for me, I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be sitting here talking about a team that would represent the AFC for 1 year. Because Trevor and I never saw, and most of you guys probably never saw the Chiefs in the Super Bowl one time.
Yeah.
Never thought I would see it happen once. Now I'm about to see it for 8 straight years. Or at least in the AFC Championship. I see my team in the AFC Championship for 8 straight years. And I'm going to see my team represent the AFC in the Super Bowl for a 6th season. That's happening. The Chiefs are going to beat the Ravens in the AFC Championship.
Bro, we have the same matchup. So obviously, it's just crazy for how we all come to the same.
No idea.
Yeah, so I have the same thing. I have the Chiefs beating the Ravens in Arrowhead Stadium to go to the Super Bowl.
Love it, man. So
the Arrowhead Invitational.
Yeah, that's what it's become, guys, and you guys know that. So my Super Bowl is Super Bowl 1, or Super Bowl 4, sorry. Chiefs and Vikings.
Mine's Super Bowl 1.
Yeah, yours is Super. So we both have NFC North teams against the Chiefs. And look, man, you guys know as big as I am on J.J. McCarthy, I think Kevin O'Connell is that next up-and-coming great head coach that's going to be here for the next 20 years. The unfortunate thing for them is that even though they got all the way here to the dance, they're running into a team that is not only the greatest dynasty I think we've ever seen in the history of the NFL that's continuing that upward trajectory, but they are a team that is hell-bent on getting that revenge of being embarrassed in the Super Bowl, because we saw this team, after 2020 getting embarrassed by the Buccaneers, retool everything, and within 2 years they won the Super Bowl again. I don't think it's going to take 2 more years for this one, because there's a lot of questions of whether Travis Kelce is going to continue to play football or not. He's got a lot of things going on in his personal life. I think that they're looking at this as, let's get this one for 8-7. And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to get this Super Bowl victory. And I'm gonna say something that might be a little crazy, but I think there's a chance that someone outside of Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl MVP. And I think that it might be Travis Kelce. Because I think what might happen is Travis Kelce has a game in the Super Bowl where he catches multiple touchdowns. And I'm not, again, this might not happen, and it might just be Patrick
a Hollywood
Mahomes.
Ending for sure.
Yeah, it might just be Patrick Mahomes, and it's like, well, no duh, because he probably plays incredible for them to win. He probably has to play well. But I think there's a chance where Travis Kelce has like a 7-8 catch game for like 97 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they're like, hey, give him the Super Bowl MVP. And Patrick like makes sure it happens. And you see the storybook ending of like the world's most famous woman on the stage with Travis Kelce, and he's doing another epic speech.
Could you imagine the hate, though?
Oh, I love that. I fucking love that. I want Taylor Swift with some red lipstick on the stage, puts one on Travis's cheek right here, and he's holding up the Super Bowl and the fucking Super Bowl MVP trophy, and he's riding off into the sunset. Now, I don't want to see Travis retire, but if they win the Super Bowl this year and that happens, that's the storybook ending, dude. So
I think we're reading the tea leaves already this season anyways.
Yeah. That's my
awesome.
Super Bowl pick, man. Yeah.
That's my favorite player. So seeing that happen for my guy Kelce, I would shed a tear, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have Super Bowl 1 rematch here with the Packers and the Chiefs. It's gonna be a battle.
And Trevor's picking the Packers.
This is a team. This is a.
The Patriots are somehow win the Super Bowl, guys.
But like I said, this is the last. The Patriots somehow hijacked the Super Bowl.
The Stone Cold music comes out, they come all running.
Drake May gets traded to the Packers somehow. No, listen. This is gonna be a battle. This is one of the few teams over the last few seasons actually like outright beat our ass in like a regular season game. I have a lot of respect for LaFleur and his game plans and the way he really schemes up offenses. It's very impressive. Similar to the O'Connell guy, Coach O'Connell and McVay and Shanahan. Those guys they're just geniuses, man. The way those guys scheme up their players and the way they get the best out of their players and find their strengths. Chiefs win the Super Bowl. I feel like it's going to be one of those games that comes down to the wire, and Chiefs find a way to put it away and be on top of the mountain once again.
It's funny how like this has become like almost not an exciting thing to talk about because we're so used to it here. And I don't want to say I'm taking it for granted. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's so weird to like sit here and we talk about this. It's almost like
it's not wishful thinking.
We're picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
This is logical thinking, not wishful thinking anymore. It's like, of course it should be the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you really, with confidence, pick anybody else?
And this is the point I was trying to make about the whole CBD thing. The reason I say that is because that stands for Chiefs by default. The reason I am so confident, and I'll be real with you guys, I am more confident the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl this year than I think I ever have been. Here's the biggest reason why. It's not even just because of the Chiefs. If you look at, like, obviously Trevor's very big on the Patriots this year. I am too, but not as much. But the two biggest roadblocks, if you will, for the last forever has been the Ravens and the Bills for the Chiefs, technically. But mostly the Bills. The reason, I'm going to tell you this right now. I am guaranteeing you that neither one of those teams are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I am guaranteeing you. And here's the reason. Again, it's not even just the Chiefs. It's the fact that history tells us they won't. And history repeats itself. That's something I very much believe in its own way.
Flat circle.
The world, it's weird how it works, but it does work that way, especially in sports. There has never been, in the history of the NFL, a head coach and quarterback duo that have won their first Super Bowl after their 5th season together. It's never happened. Let me say it again so you understand what I'm saying. No head coach and quarterback duo has ever won their first Super Bowl together after their 5th season together. This is Josh Allen and Sean McDermott's 8th season together. And this is not even close to the best team they've ever had together.
Sean McDermott gets fired after the season.
I'm actually with you. Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh, 8th season together. They have a losing record in the playoffs together. And I'm supposed to believe that they're going to change that trajectory all of a sudden?
Right.
They had their best chance 2 years ago when they were hosting the AFC Championship.
All the teams that have been the biggest threats to us have had their best chances and faltered.
I'm going to be real.
The Bengals took the most advantage of it, got to the dance, and still faltered.
As crazy as this sounds, I'm actually going to say something that Trevor's going to probably buy into. I'm actually more, not even afraid is the wrong word, but I'm actually more alert of a Patriots team beating the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl this year than I would be those other two teams. Why? The historics.
Sure.
The Chiefs have already beaten Josh Allen and Sean McDermott 4 times, and their time has passed. The Ravens have lost the Chiefs.
And to add to that narrative, Vrabel's been one of the toughest coaches we've ever played against.
You know what I'm saying?
He's always had our number.
The biggest blowout in Patrick Mahomes' regular season career was against the Titans, 27-3.
Yeah.
Smoked them. And that was a healthy Chiefs team. So we can't sit here and use that excuse.
Vrabel's had our number, man.
Yeah, dude. So what I'm saying, guys, is this isn't as exciting as it is as I'd like to make it for you on the AFC side of things, or just for the Super Bowl, because the Chiefs are just going to continue to be who they were, and if not better, because like we talked about, all the additions they've added and the experiences there, knowing what this means to them, knowing that they had a chance at a three-peat and it got squandered, knowing that Travis Kelce is probably going to retire after this season. He's got so much going for him. Like, there's a lot of things that are motivating factors for this team. And again, historics are on their side as opposed to being on the complete other side of the guys that are chomping at the bit for them. So CBD is the way I look at it. Chiefs by default. That's the way I look at this. That's how I've looked at it all offseason. I was willing to move off of it if the Chiefs didn't do anything to substantially upgrade at left tackle, get healthier, things like that. But that all happened. So what kind of fool would I be? That's why I'm laughing at these dipshits like Jason McIntyre and Colin Cowherd and these other people that are sitting here talking about the Chiefs missing the playoffs outright or becoming a wild card team. Based on what? Based on what? But then they're going to sit here and turn around and say the Bills have the best roster? Based on what? Like, give me something that I don't want to just hear your opinion. Back the opinion up with something. That's why we take pride on that on this show, about getting to the meat of the claim or the take. It isn't just saying some stupid shit. Like Trevor had that. I'm taking the Patriots 14-3, and what if he just moved on? Like, what? Wait, what? Yeah. Like, you'd have to, and he broke it down.
Please.
You broke it down. So even if people disagree with you, at least you gave them something they can respectfully say, hey, you know what? Dude has reasons. He didn't just say it. That's why we take so long. I know this show's been like drawn out, but we want to give you guys context. We don't want to just give you some faulty take and say, all right, yeah, this team's this, and I'm just going to move on. No, I want you guys to know why. so we can have accountability here on the show. That's why we do this, man. It isn't just about having fun. We're having a blast, but it's also about the truth and the authenticity and the respect to you as the viewer, that we're not just trying to bullshit y'all here. We're giving you the truth here, man. So that's our predictions. We'd love to hear your guys's. And in fact, if we could, Trevor, I'm sure there's been some questions. I'd love to get to the people and speak it, man.
Well, do you want to get to MVP and awards and stuff like that real quick?
I apologize. I jumped ahead. Yes. So
you're good.
So let's get to the so we have some. I'm going to go over mine real quick, and I want to get to yours, Trevor.
Yeah.
So I think that Patrick Mahomes wins his third MVP this season. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to flirt with 5,000 yards and over 40 touchdowns, because the last time he had an actual left tackle, that's exactly what he did. He set an NFL record for the most combined yards by a quarterback in NFL history for a single season. I think Patrick gets to that again. I think he has a combined, with rushing yards included, around 5,500 yards, flirts with his own record, and I think he has about 48 total touchdowns. And I'm not kidding. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have an absolute nuclear year. So he wins MVP as third. My offensive player of the year is going to be Bijan Robinson. I know his team's not going to be great this season, but he's going to be fantastic. I think he has a very Saquon Barkley-esque type of year. I think because Saquon Barkley had such a great season last year, nobody talked about Bijan, but Bijan last season was unbelievably great. Yeah. He had, 18 touchdowns or 17 touchdowns? He had 17, 18 total yards. Dude, he was unbelievable, but nobody talked about because Saquon was legendary. Yeah. He gets that this year. My defensive player of the year? Micah fucking Parsons, dude. He is going to go to Green Bay. He's going to lead the league in sacks, and he's going to be one of the biggest reasons why that team has a deep playoff push, because he is the dude. And he is, like I said, guys, first 4 seasons of his career, he's had at least 12 sacks. Now he's going to be with a team that he actually likes. Now he's going to be feeling good and motivated, and he's going to actually play against the Cowboys in week 4 or 5. I think he goes nuclear. I think he leads the league in sacks, and he wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Love that.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙾𝙳𝙴. I finally got his name right, Trevor. I know everyone's looking at Cam Ward. I know everyone's looking at Ashton Genty. I know there's other guys out there, but he's going to be playing with Baker Mayfield, and I think he's going to be a real factor because you said, Trevor, about how Chris Godwin's going to be missing time. Yep. I think that 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝙀 is going to be playing a big role in this offense. I think he's going to have over 10 touchdowns, and I'm not kidding when I say that. I think this kid's going to be a high flyer, and that offense is going to be one of the best in the league. It's because they got this kid who day one hit the ground running, and he surprises the world. I'm actually going to put money on this. I think he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. My Defensive Rookie of the Year is not so surprising. It will be Abdul Carter. This kid is going to be a
feels unanimous
animal. Dude, he is, you're already seeing it.
That Giants defense is
He's throwing around tackles. He's blowing through guards. This dude is just stupid great. He is going to be that next, of course, a Giants player that is just going to be great. Him and Thibodeau and these other guys, bro. What else they got? Burns. They got Brian Burns there too, I think, right? Yeah. They're just going to be feasting on quarterbacks, dude. So, yeah, that's actually a matchup I'm actually kind of terrified about because those guys are going to be animals against the Chiefs. But, yeah, he's going to have about 13, 14 sacks this year. He's going to win Rookie of the Year. My comeback player of the year, no question about it, 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂 Hutchinson. He's going to be another one of those guys that gets 15, 16 sacks this year. You're going to be like, oh, my God, I forgot how great he was. He was going to set the sack record last year if he didn't get hurt. Remember I said that. I called that shit. I said he's going to set the sack record. He's going to get right back to being great like he was. He's going to win comeback player. He might even win Defensive Player of the Year. And my Coach of the Year, we talked about it earlier. No surprise, Mike fucking Vrabel. I think he's going to lead this team to the playoffs. I have him as 11-win team. Trevor has him as 14. Doesn't matter. The fact is he's going to change this franchise that for the last 4 or 5 years has been in the fucking cellar. They've been ass since Tom Brady left. He's going to get him back to prominence.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. MVP Pat this year, man. I fully believe that. I think this is a vengeance. He got embarrassed in the Super Bowl. He wants to change that.
The narrative's finally on his side.
Dude, he has all the chips on his shoulders. They're all stacked up, and we're hearing all the hate. Now we're hearing about the fucking Broncos, bro. It's just stop. I think he's gonna roll through this division like a hot knife and butter. I think that this is Patrick Mahomes' second best season of his career. I think he's going to be right there. I think he's going to be competing for the best statistical numbers of his single season for his career. Offensive Player of the Year is CeeDee Lamb for me.
Ooh, I like that too.
I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be the best receiver in football this year. I'm all in on him this season. I think he's always been one of the best receivers in football. But I think he has a similar year like what Jamar Chase had last season. I think this especially now with Micah Parsons out of the picture, this defense is probably not going to be great at all. They're going to be chasing points. I think he's going to have 180 targets. He's probably going to catch 125 balls. He's going to have an insane season. And I love the addition of Pickens being on the outside. Defenses have to worry about him now on the outside, having a true another alpha out there with him alongside him. And this can be that T. Higgins, Jamar Chase type of situation where he can have that kind of year. So I think CeeDee Lamb's going to go nuclear this season. Defensive Player of the Year is 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂 Hutchinson for me.
I like it.
And I'll just say it now. I think he wins Defensive Player of the Year and Comeback Player of the Year. I know that's not something that is common or if it's even happened at all, but you can still win both of those.
Absolutely.
I think he is the best candidate to do so. I think he's going to be outrageously good this year and just continue to be what he's always been, and that's phenomenal. My offensive rookie of the year is 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝙀 for the Carolina Panthers. I think he's immediately fallen right into a wide receiver one role in a Dan Canales offense. I think he's going to be the number one target there in Carolina. That's a team that's going to be trailing all the time because their defense is terrible. I think he's going to have some really, really insane numbers at the end of the season as a rookie. I really liked Ibuka as well. I think he was my runner-up in this pick, but I just think he's not competing with the Mike Evans for targets. So I think his number is going to be outrageous at the end of the season. 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝙀 is my offensive rookie of the year. And then defensive rookie of the year, obviously, is Abdul Carter. The guy is just, it's unanimous at this point. I think everyone's kind of chalking this guy up as that dude. And I think he's going to get that at the end of the season. Coach of the year also, I'm in alignment with you, is Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, my guy. I love him. I think this Patriots team is going to be awesome. And I think he's the biggest contributor to that awesomeness this season. And his leadership and his ability to coach men is awesome. And I love what I've seen just from the mic'd up stuff with him and Drake May. Drake May, even at practice, is telling Drake May to go celebrate touchdown passes with those guys at practices and scrimmages. Yeah. I love that stuff. Yep. That's a morale boost. That's something that this team needed coming off of the blunder that was last year. It's an absolute disaster. This team is too talented, and I think Vrabel is going to be a massive Coach of the Year candidate, and he's my number one pick for that.
Hell yeah. I love it. So like I said, we want to hear from you guys about your predictions and everything like that. I know we've been hogging the mic all day, but the chat's been unbelievably live today. I've been loving every second of it. You guys, I really appreciate it. But I hope you guys don't go away too quickly because we want to get to your questions. So real quick, Trevor, we can, man. Let's get to speaking. Let's get the people. Let's hear what they got to ask us, man.
Absolutely. We got our guy Dustin Orton in here. Speak it. Do you think that Mahomes is bothered by his pay? He is around the 10th paid QB, and now Parsons makes more a year than him.
I don't think he's bothered at all because I think he's looking at it as, well, technically some guys are making more money than me annually, but I'm winning Super Bowls. And that is something that is very important to Patrick because he wants to win and he wants to continue to win. He's also insanely wealthy outside of football.
Yeah, no one's making more endorsement money
than
Patrick Mahomes.
Not even close. Like, Patrick is making insane amounts of money outside of football. In fact, he's making more money annually outside of football than he's making in football. Yeah. He will get a restructure. He will get a pay raise. That's all going to happen. But when it comes to the structure of his pay, I don't think he's looking at it across the board going, oh, that's unfair. That guy's making more. He knows he's better than those guys. He knows that technically he's making less money than those guys, but he understands that in order for him to continue winning the way he is, there have to be sacrifices along the way, and that is what he is doing, and that's why that's why you wouldn't want any other quarterback leading your way than him.
Yeah. Justin Orton follows up with that. Another question. Thoughts on how cut day went down? Keeping Elijah Mitchell and losing the one player to the Jets last minute.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝙀 cut. I really liked him a lot, especially with Wanya Morris. I mean, I don't know how much longer the Chiefs need to realize that Wanya Morris is not a good football player. 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝙀 has been nothing but solid at camp and preseason, and I just can't really wrap my mind around why they let him walk. The Jets picked him up almost instantly. Cam Jones as well, I thought he was a for sure lock, ended up not coming, but I am very happy about Cooper McDonald, the undrafted player who led the team in tackles in preseason. Yeah, he won himself a job, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him too. So I don't want to take away from any of the other guys. I was surprised by the Elijah Mitchell keeping him. I don't really understand it. I mean, maybe they just want to hedge their bets at running back in case Pacheco gets hurt, things like that. But
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, the one that just stood out to me the most was 𝚂𝙿𝙀. But here's the funny thing, and I'm not even trying to
Cam Jones, man. Shit.
I'm not even trying to downplay it. But if we're talking about our third string left tackle, and that's the surprise cut, this team's pretty damn good. You know what I mean? I can live with that.
We got Robert Tonyan on the practice squad, right?
No, he's signed back on the active roster now.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, because Rashee Rice is now off for a while, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we kept him, man, because
he did get cut initially.
Right.
But I will say one more. I didn't like that Mike Pennell got cut. I understand why they did it, but I was kind of hoping that he'd be on the team because he's a good player for the team. He is older, which is why they brought back Derek Nottie, who's 29 as opposed to 34, which is what
it's the better
Pennell
move.
is. Yeah,
I think that's the right move.
We're just splitting hairs at that point, though.
Cell32 Alt, speak it. Did you guys see the situation with Rampage Jackson's son, and what's your take?
Yeah, it's fucking inexcusable.
Yeah.
I know
murder, bro.
I know there's people out there that are for whatever reason, and however,
Rampage is making it worse.
They're trying, no, Rampage, he's a whole other debacle, but he's like sexually assaulting women on like videos, and it's like funny to people. I don't understand what's going on. The dude's like literally going up to men's wives and grabbing their asses
because he's a big.
Yeah, no one's gonna fuck with him. So it's fucking bullying. It's sexual bullying. It's disgusting. Anyway, his son is an absolute clown, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to talk about him being a young. Oh, he's learned. The man is 25 years old.
Yeah,
he's not a kid. It's not. We're not talking about adolescence here.
Yeah, we're making like adolescence like he's a victim to adolescence.
Fuck that. That dude
what are we talking about?
Almost murdered somebody. Tried to murder somebody.
That's attempted murder.
I don't care about all the ins and outs of. Well, they told him to. No,
that video.
There was no self-control in that moment. He slammed that Psycho Stu guy down. Already knocked him out.
Yeah.
Which should have stopped right there. Then proceeds to hit him 20 times in the face with full-fledged blows, flush blows to the face. And what makes matters worse, not that it's already bad in itself, but the Psycho Stu guy is a former Marine who suffers from PTSD that does this to deal with this PTSD, and now just suffered another traumatic event. Way to go, jackass! You maybe just ruined somebody's life. There's no defending. I saw Mark Henry. I saw Rob Van Dam. I saw all these other idiots coming out and defending Raj for this. No, there's no defending this. Is it any different, Trevor, than if I was to go up to somebody on the street and just knock them to the ground and just start wailing? Well, but the guy at the gas station, he said to go over there and like do that for entertainment.
I got permission.
Yeah, so it's okay, right? No, it's still, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail for that.
Yeah.
So there's no excusing it. That is erratic and psychotic behavior, and that apple did not fall from that tree because his dad's also an idiot.
Yeah. John Harrison chimes in the chat, says, "Damn, guys, this show may run longer than the Chiefs-Bolts game in Brazil, LOL." This is always our longest show of the year, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's
you guys bear with us, man.
It's a jam-packed show, and we tend to be long-winded sometimes,
yeah.
So deal with it. Noah John Marshall, speak it. Who is Isaiah Pacheco? Is he going to play 17 games? It's so wild. KCRB room is so meh. Is he him this year?
No, he's not going to play 17 games. I don't think anybody's expecting Isaiah Pacheco to stay healthy all year. That's why they went and hedged their bets, I think, with Elijah Mitchell, who's also an injury-prone player. But see, you got to remember, man, we're in Kansas City under Andy Reid. The run game is never going to lead the way anyway. It'd be one thing if this was the Eagles' running back room. It'd be one thing if this was, the Ravens running back room. I'd be like, okay, well, that's bad.
I'm not a big Pacheco guy, just self-admittedly. I never really have been. In no way am I going to allow some Pacheco slander, though. Isaiah Pacheco is 100% an American success story.
Absolutely.
7th-round pick that probably would have went undrafted if the Chiefs didn't draft him. Scored several playoff touchdowns and scored touchdowns in the Super Bowl to win multiple Super Bowls.
He was the starter for 2 back-to-back Super Bowl champions.
I mean, you don't come from the ashes like that.
Right.
That's an absolute success story. So, and when healthy, he is one of the most productive running backs in football.
Right.
Because he's part of one of the best offenses in football. So when healthy, he's a dog. I mean, I'll give him. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I think he's kind of a one-trick pony when it comes to the running scheme and his running style and not avoiding tackles very well.
Right.
But I mean, I mean, in no way am I going to slander the dude. The dude's completely overachieved for what the expectations were probably in his life.
Right.
So that's 100% a success story. That's who Isaiah Pacheco is. So appreciate the question though. Cell32 Alt, speak it. Not sure if y'all watching, but Arch Manning looks overhyped so far.
Well, he also is playing against Ohio State in Ohio State. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a break here.
And let's be honest, he's probably always going to be overhyped because of the name on that jersey.
100%. Eli Manning was overhyped.
He's always going to be in that shadow.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be. I think he's going to be a really good player. But that name on the jersey is tough.
Yeah,
it's a tough shadow to live in.
What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to jump to conclusions yet on what Arch is or isn't.
Arch's a stud, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
not, don't kid yourself.
I'm going to let him prove himself this season. And again, when your first career start is against Ohio State, the defending champions in their house, it's going to be a challenge.
MQ10, speak it. I have a super bold prediction. All 4 teams in the NFC North will have a winning record. I see your guys' point on the Lions. Still think they win the division.
Okay, hey, look, dude, that's not a crazy take because the Lions are a really good team.
He has a follow-up on here, too.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
In my opinion, the Lions and Rams are the most intriguing teams to watch out for. How will the Lions do without the coordinators, and can Stafford stay healthy the whole year? If so, Lions, Rams, NFC title.
Dude.
I don't hate that. You're right, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I mean, those two teams for sure are the teams, I mean.
If Stafford stays healthy all year,
The pendulum
and the
keeps
Rams
swinging.
or the Lions overcome the losses of Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, then yes.
But if I'm
They're
betting on
gonna
one of the two teams, I think we'd know it's the Rams. I just trust the leadership and the head coach.
Those are two
Outrightly.
big risks, though, man. Like and like Trevor said earlier, when the Rams lost the way they did to the Commanders, it felt like something broke.
Yeah.
And I think that's why their coordinators left, because we did everything we could.
Lions lost you said the Rams.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Lions. When the Lions lost to the
lost-
Commanders,
yeah.
it felt like something broke, and I think that's why their coordinators left, because I felt like they did everything they could. Like, they served their purpose. Now it's time to move on, and we wish you the best. Like, that's why I feel the way I do about the Rams and the Lions. And I still think they're a 10-win team because they're just too damn talented. I like Dan Campbell, but I don't think he's the kind of coach that's going to scheme you out of things, because that's not his job. His job is to motivate men. And that's great, but when you lose the brain trust, sometimes that doesn't work. That's what happened with Mike Tomlin. You start to become the villain, unfortunately. And I fear that for Dan Campbell because he's so lovable.
Yeah.
But if they don't start winning playoff games again, and let's say they go a couple years without a playoff win, miss the playoffs, he's all of a sudden going to start looking for a different head coach.
I agree. That's all the questions we got, man.
That's
The,
all right.
the chat was live today. There's a lot of side conversations going on. I love it, man. It was
hard to keep up with, but that's
been a
what
blast.
we want. We want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we very much, and I saw a lot of people saying it was a great show. They love the energy. Honestly, this is how it is every week, guys. So you want to join in and have a fun time? That's what we're here to do.
And if the Patriots win 3 games this year, don't come revisit this show. Don't do it.
I'm going to clip it
Let's
today.
just forget my
I'm clipping
take.
it today. I'm clipping it today, so don't worry, man. We're going to be someone's
I'm
gonna be
10
holding it
toes
up.
down. I don't care. I could be wrong. It's fine.
All right, guys. Well, you know what that means. We have one more order of business to get to. You know what it's called. Trevor, what's it called? Hold this L. Each every episode, we finish off every single episode with a series of L's in the world of sports. Whether those L's are friendly L's or not so friendly L's in the world of sports, we promise you, who's ever holding the L's in the world of sports deserve those L's in the world of sports. Trevor Twidwell, who's holding the L for you this week?
All right. So I'm never one to bring politics in this show, and I'm not technically. I mean, technically, I am with the name that's involved in this statement here, but I'm not making it a political thing because it's really not. It's just it came from the mouth of someone who's in the political sphere. But just to preface what I'm about to read you, quote wise here, low IQ and just stupidity knows no bounds. Just know that. You can be a successful person. You can be a leader of this country and have low IQ and be, toenails to earlobes full of stupidity. J.D. Vance, vice president, put NFL officials on notice after any potential favoritism towards the Kansas City Chiefs after Travis Kelce's engagement to Taylor Swift was announced this week. During an interview with USA Today, Vance sent a message to the league not to put a thumb on the scale for the Chiefs this year. He says, end quote, as a football fan, as a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I hope the NFL does not put the thumb on the scale just because Travis Kelce is now getting married to maybe the most famous woman in the world, Vance said. I'm worried they're going to have like a Super Bowl wedding this season. Can't do it. The Kansas City Chiefs have to follow the same rules. Vance said politicians should stick to politics, but he congratulates the couple. He goes on to say a few more things, but it's more just white noise at that point. Obviously, he's a Cincinnati Bengals fan, so that speaks volumes to me. Just also to add some context to the quote. My question is, when this continues to be a narrative with the Taylor Swift thing, I always go back to this. You guys know before Taylor Swift was a Chiefs fan and was dating Travis Kelce, we had 2 rings already. We had already won 2 Super Bowls and been there 3 times.
And wasn't Travis Kelce a part of those teams? If I'm mistaken, I think he played a role, right?
Were we abiding by the rules at that?
Hey, don't say a Biden. Don't say a Biden. All right.
Were we Sleepy Joeing during those rules? No. Listen, yo, like I fuck politics, fuck all that shit. I don't care where you stand. I get along with everybody. I can whatever. It's fine. I'm somewhere in the center. Either way, this is where I say stupidity knows no bounds. There are no boundaries. Anybody can be a victim to stupidity. And here we go. Here's a prime example right here. This is the leader of our country. Right hand to the big dog. Right? And this is a take that comes out of his mouth. I got a quick, like I said, 2 rings before Taylor Swift was even showing up to Chiefs games. Was Kanye West a successful artist before he married Kim Kardashian? Yeah, he was already one of the highest record-selling hip-hop artists of all time before he ever married that woman and procreated with her. Did he need Kim to be successful? Nope. Did Travis Kelce and this Chiefs organization need favoritism from the rest because of Taylor Swift before we win our 3rd ring? The narrative is just it's so smooth-brained.
I'm glad it helped us in this last Super Bowl.
Right.
Big time. We only lost by
her being
18
from Philly.
points. Yeah, exactly.
Her being from Philly, was there a scandal there? Because Taylor Swift's from Philly. Maybe she put on a bet on the Eagles to get some sway.
They put their thumb on that one.
Yeah. So what are we talking about here, man? Like, it's just only reason I'm giving this quote airtime is because it became from the fucking vice president, who happens to also be a Bengals fan, which is the best part of it all.
And he had the nerve to say that politicians should stick to politics, but yet he's sitting here with an NFL take.
Yeah, he was saying that to kind of save face a little bit because he was just like, yeah, don't take my take seriously, but this is a warning to the refs not to put, like, bro, how many times do we got to hear this narrative, bro? And it's only going to get worse now that they're getting married. Because at first it was the relationship is fake.
Yeah, that was fun.
Now that they're getting married, now that everyone's doubling down on it even more. Now, now they're getting married. Now it's even more real. Now we're getting more favoritism. Now that it's not fake. What are we doing, man? And and the biggest thing I think a lot of people miss too is I think the biggest key to the hatred here is because it's Kansas City, dude. Knicks games, Yankees games, Lakers games, they have celebrity row.
Yep.
You don't have that in Kansas City. Now that we have the celebrity.
Yep. She was
now there's favoritism because Kansas City has the celebrity now. But you watch every Knicks game, you watch every Lakers game, you watch LA Rams games. Anywhere in LA or New York, they all have celebrities all over those games. No one's saying there's any favoritism. If Taylor Swift was dating a Laker, no one would care.
Right, 100%. Yes.
No one would care.
Yep.
No one would be claiming favoritism for LeBron. No one would be. It's only because it's the Chiefs and we're flyover country.
Yep.
And now we're the team. We're the face of the league. We have the best quarterback, and we have a handsome tight end that's dating the biggest superstar, and about to marry the biggest superstar in the world. Now we're getting favoritism. We were good before she got here. Shut the fuck up. JD Vance, do me a solid favor and hold this L.
Wrong. Well, speaking of because he's adjacent to one. Speaking of a senile old man, you guys already know where I'm going when it comes to the biggest L of everybody this week.
Oh boy.
And that is, without question, Jerry Jones. First of all, the man can't even say Micah Parsons' name correctly.
God, so disrespectful, bro.
I really believe that Michael can bring us some good players.
That's not a microcosm of this whole situation,
bro. I'm gonna say something about Jerry Jones. I don't know the man. I don't want to know the man, but he treats his NFL team like a plantation, straight up. This got personal, and because Micah wasn't playing his games and let Jerry just sit out there in the cold and have to answer for everything in the media, which is ironically what he loves, but when he doesn't have anything to chew on, it makes him look stupid, which very much is what he looks like right now and continues to look like. He acted out of emotion. And any man in any leadership position acting out of emotion and making decisions out of his emotions is always a weakness. Every single time. And Jerry Jones lost. Yeah, sure. They got 2 first-round picks and a solid defensive tackle out of the situation. Do you understand what you could get for Micah Parsons on the open market, say like in March or April before the draft? If you said, hey, everybody, all 31 other teams, a 26-year-old elite edge rusher is on the trading block, what do you think the bidding would be on that? Probably 3, maybe 4 first-round picks. But see, what's ironic, Trevor, is that Jerry himself said that he views this trade as the next Herschel Walker trade, which is hilarious because if you look back at the Herschel Walker trade, they actually fleeced the team they traded Herschel Walker to, and they ended up getting the triplets out of it. Yep. They got 2 first-round picks and a role player from a team that is better than them.
Yep.
And that means that Micah Parsons makes them even more better than
And
them.
those first-round picks are going to be damn near early second-round picks.
Bingo. The Packers are going to give them the 27th, 28th overall
30th.
picks.
Yeah.
So you essentially got, like Trevor just said, 2 early second-round picks and a 29-year-old role player from Micah Parsons. Not Michael, by the way. Micah Parsons. He is the dumbest human being in the NFL. He might be the richest, but he's the dumbest. There's no other way of putting it. There's no excuse for what he just did other than he's a senile, old, bitter man that has now dragged this franchise that was once great and prominent further into the ground. This man is the single reason why this franchise can't get out of its own way, because he's a one-man show, and all of his kids and all of his little minions around him are a bunch of yes men that are afraid of not being in his will. So they're not going to say anything to disrupt things because Daddy and Grampy knows best. And so the 30 years of them not winning is going to continue until this man, I hate to say this, until the man's dead. And when he's dead, and Stephen Jones and the other people start to take over, they have a real choice on their hands. Do we continue the bullshit that Dad started, or do we finally get our heads out of our ass and run a franchise like an NFL franchise, not a soap opera set? Tough decision, I know, but I don't know how they have fans anymore. Because when we were kids, they were the shit. The Cowboys were the shit. They had Emmitt Smith, they had Troy Aikman, they had an awesome offensive line, and Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders. They were the shit. I understood why they were America's team.
Michael Parsons might be the best Cowboy of all time.
Exactly, dude.
He's arguably the best Cowboy.
That's an hyperbole. That is a real thing. And they just traded him for a pack of mints.
Yeah.
In comparison. Jerry, buddy.
Crazy.
Someone's got to do it. Someone in that family needs to have some balls and say, Grandpa, Dad, whatever, can we sit down? You got to relinquish the power, dude.
Just punch assassinate him. Like Shane
Can
Gillis.
we get like Billy Bob Thornton and the Landman crew to come in? Listen, Jerry, man. You got to sit down and shut the fuck up, dude. Because this is the ultimate way I look at Jerry Jones, Trevor. He would rather be a famous loser than an unknown winner.
Facts, dude. That's the detriment of this team.
That's the way I look at that, man. He would rather be a famous loser than an unknown winner. That is why, dude, and I'm not trying to make this into a segment about the Chiefs again. This is why I'm so grateful for Clark Hunt and Lamar Hunt and the whole Hunt family. They give a fuck about winning.
Yeah.
And Clark doesn't want any of it. That man is so socially awkward. He doesn't want to have any of the attention. Bro, he stands in the back, and I love it, dude. He'll, congratulate every player when they're going to the locker room and shit, and he'll, do his thing because obviously he has to be the face of the franchise, but he lets the football people do the football stuff, and he'll go do all the boring corporate shit because that's what he knows.
Yeah.
But he lets Andy Reid cook. He lets Brad Veach cook. He lets Mark Donovan cook. He lets them do that because he hired them to do that. He doesn't sit there and say, all right, this is my team, God damn it. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, and we're going to win the way I fucking want, and I don't give a shit if I look like melted ice cream on a ball sack. I'm going to do what I fucking want. And what you're going to do right now, Jerry Jones, is hold his hell. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Yeah. Fucking old bastard.
Saggy ass eyes.
Ass eyes.
Saggy ass eyes.
Exactly. Literally. It looks like 2 assholes with eyes drooping.
Oh, man.
I love it, guys. This is such a fun show. You guys have been nothing short of amazing. The chat was live. We appreciate every single one of you that contributed.
3 hours and 21 minutes, baby.
I love it. And I would do another 3 hours.
I have to pee so bad.
Yeah, it's going to be like a faucet. Regardless, thank you guys for hanging out. We appreciate it so much. This is the prediction show, so if you want to get in later in the chat, hit us up on YouTube, man. Hit the subscribe button and hit the comment button, man, and get in there. Let us know what you guys are thinking. If you watch this later on, there'll be other people that do that. But we've already taken up enough of your time, guys. We hope you enjoy your weekend. For Trevor Twiddle, for the great Clay Wendler that puts all this together on the back end of things of the Red Tribe Cinema, for the entire Spoken Podcast family, we know there's a lot of you guys. We appreciate all you. I'm Lance Twiddle. Lance Twiddle, I said my own last name wrong. Lance Twiddle, the Spoken Podcast, episode 325, done, finished, infinito. And until we are back here in 1 week's time, talking about Chiefs football and giving you guys our thoughts on what's going on, we out of this bitch.
Later.